Hello, everybody. Welcome to the United Stand. My name is Levin, and I am joined by the one and only Kevin Ashford. And we are here to present the watch-along to you. Yep, Mark isn't here. I know. Wait, just hold fire for a second. I know it's usually Mark, and you're expecting Mark, and no Goldbridge, no party, but Goldbridge can't be here. And I'm telling you, believe me, Kevin will tell you this as well. If Goldbridge could be here, he would be here. But he can't be. So he's not, and it's us. But still, we've got an exciting game, another game in the Rangnick era. Kev, it's going to be a good one, right?
Yes, mate. Looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. First watch-along I've ever done on the United Stand. So obviously we've got big shoes to fill with Mr. Goldbridge not being here. But we'll give it our best shot, won't we? It's nice to actually watch something and react to it when it's live. So really looking forward to it.
You've messed us up already because you can't say we've got big shoes to fill. We can't do that, right? Like you know what I mean? Like we can't do that. So we're not here to fill any shoes, guys. We're just here to be Lev and Kev, right? You know, I love how, of course, Jordy's got the whole Lev and Kev thing going on, right? Like it's just typical. Okay, no more dabs. That was your only dab for today's stream. Look, how long till kickoff we got, Kev? You're my info man.
We are at 4:30 now. So 1 hour. We've got 1 hour. We'll have the team news. Obviously, that should be kicking in probably about now, actually. So we'll have a look at that. Expecting lots of changes. There will be lots of changes because obviously made 11 changes to the team midweek. So it just depends what we're going to revert back to, really, doesn't it? If the likes of Harry Maguire come back in. Personally, I think Eric Bailly should be in. It's something we've discussed on previous fan forums, but yes, I will be waiting for the team news. It should actually be in now, shouldn't it, mate? So,
yes, predicted 11 would be nice.
Very professional.
Well, this is the predicted 11 for you guys. You can see De Gea in goal, Maguire next to Lindelof, Delo and Tellers as the fullbacks, Fred and McTominay as the pivot, Bruno and Sancho as the 2 10s. With Rashford and Ronaldo starting up. I think that's probably what we're going to see just based off of, you know, the fact that we completely changed the lineup. Rangnick himself actually talked about how they train separately, right? The squad that played against Crystal Palace trained separately. I'm not expecting huge changes for this game. Kev, what sort of changes would you want from this predicted 11?
Who did you say was at the back? Sorry, Maguire. Is that Maguire coming back in? Is it?
Yeah, Maguire, Lindelof, Tellers, Delo.
I just want Eric Bailly in there. I love Eric Bailly. I mean, some of them crazy moves from midweek. You've just got to throw him in for that. They get clipped up. They're absolutely sensational. But as a defender, I just think he's all action, pace. But I don't expect him to drop Maguire. I don't think it's something we've debated as well, isn't it? Really, it's he just seems to walk straight back into that team. I suppose he is the captain, but that's another argument, I suppose.
Yeah, do you know what it is? I saw a lot of people who were getting mad, and I tweeted about this because I thought it was unreal. There was this guy who unironically, right, commented on the United Stand, look, Ollie must be in contact with Rangnick because Rangnick's just not making, enough changes, or, what's going on? And I was like, I'm reading it, one, giggling, like, surely you don't actually think that. But two, I think people underestimate with the way the sort of fixtures currently are, it's always going to be hard to make, loads of changes. I think I'd expect him to start sprinkling in a couple players in here and there. But ultimately, I think people overestimate how much turnover there is in squads usually when like managers come in, right? And maybe this is unpopular, but I don't think there's many examples where you look at, new manager coming in and massive changes to the lineup, right? Like typically it's just a new manager comes in, uses most of the same players, but just uses them differently, right? And hopefully you get revelations because, of course, the players that people don't want to see in our team right now who are currently playing, the best case scenario is that they just look much better under Rangnick. And so far we haven't seen that, right? Like I know a lot of people weren't happy about how McTominay played. I don't think he played particularly well. And of course, Maguire probably is another one where people want to see him step up and actually be better than what he's been. But I'm not going to expect many changes until we have like a transfer window at least for Rangnick to change things.
Well, I can tell you the team, the official team news is in. David Gea in net, Diego Dallo, right back. Lindelof and Maguire. So Maguire is back in, captain's armband. Tellez back in for Luke Shaw on the left-hand side. McTominay and Fred. Sancho, Fernandes, Rashford, and Ronaldo. So,
so the same lineup. Yeah. I don't think people should be surprised. I know last week when the lineup got announced, like there was a bit of outrage, and every time like I come on before like the game starts with Mark, there's always outrage, and I feel like I'm always going to people, calm down, it's gonna be all right. You know, Rangnick is you know, a significant upgrade on Oli, and so the way these players are deployed hopefully will just be a breath of fresh air. And I think when you look at that first half against Crystal Palace, it definitely wasn't, and I just hope we get more of that today. Dean Smith's Norwich definitely are better than what they were before, but not an opponent I think we should be, you know, really afraid of.
I'd say probably looking at the team, the only one you could probably make a case and argue maybe Marcus Rashford is a slight surprise actually starting, because I don't think he's actually banging form. But obviously Rangnick will have seen more than us. Obviously he's trained with him all week, so he'll see something in him to play in today. And yeah, it's pretty much what you would have predicted, really, isn't it? That, you know, the team. Rashford and Ronaldo, we've seen this 4-2-2-2, and I think Rashford, he did well against Crystal Palace to support Ronaldo, get up there, you know, make the runs, and that's what you need to do with Ronaldo, really, isn't it? He does the rest. If you can give him service, if you can get pace around him, Ronaldo does the rest, and he puts the ball in the net. So that's a strong team, that. And again, Alex Tellez coming in, can't disagree with that, to be honest. He's been fantastic, really, really good, and he's going to push Luke Shaw this season, which makes it very, very interesting. Very interesting.
Did you know, I was listening to a Manchester United podcast the other day, and Andy Mitten said that apparently the correct pronunciation for Alex Tellez is actually Alex Tellez. Did you know that?
I did not, and I wouldn't even be able to.
Yeah.
Tellez.
Apparently that's like the way you're supposed to say it, but you know, maybe that's wrong. Look, I'm not surprised by the sign-up. You know what? As much as Rashford isn't someone who I thought had an amazing game against Crystal Palace, in that like spell that was like pretty decent by us, there were moments where like you could sort of see what he's been tasked to do, and like he was doing it pretty well. So hopefully he has a better game. There's a couple players I think you could look at and probably say the same thing, right? Like, of course, the obvious one's going to be McTominay. After the interviews this week, look, we talked about on some of the shows, I know Mark's talked about it. I'll be real, I don't have a problem with McTominay. I've actually been accused of being like some sort of McTominay defender or like, you know, lover. I don't know where it's come from, but look, that interview, the clips I've seen from it rubbed me the wrong way. I was going
to ask you that, because I've not actually seen this interview, so I couldn't comment on it. For anybody that's not seen it like myself, what is it that sort of got to you and made you come to this opinion? That is it just the way that he come across in the interview?
Yeah. No, I didn't see it as cocky. I know a lot of people saying they saw it as cocky. I didn't see it as cocky. I saw it as somebody who clearly has seen all the criticism that everyone's saying about them. That's what it felt like. Right? He seemed very defensive. And like, it just, I don't know, man. It's never a good look, right? Like, it's just never a good look. When you have people trying to rattle you, right? And you'll know this, I'll know this, Mark knows this, anybody who does anything in like the public eye will know this, right? It's like when you have people trying to rattle you, if you show them that they've rattled you, you know what I mean? Like, it just never helps. Like, it's just never going to help, is it? And to me, he sort of showed that he was a bit rattled because he just came across a bit defensive, a bit sort of like, you know, you man don't know what you're talking about. Like, I'm good at what I do, kind of thing. Like, it felt like that. So
it could be you could look at that as a bit of a sign of weakness, really, couldn't you? But there's no doubt that obviously McTominay has probably read a hell of a lot of bad press about himself. And I suppose from the player's point of view, it must be very, very difficult, wouldn't it, really? To constantly be, you know, why is he in the team? He's not good enough for Manchester United, which is what a lot of Manchester United fans would be saying. So I suppose from his point of view, it's a tough one to take on the chin, isn't it, when you're constantly being criticised. But as we have said as well, all previous managers seem to play him, don't they? They all find a place for him in the team, which is why we kind of laughed and said, is that why they are previous managers? Because they put so much faith in McTominay.
Yeah, you know, you can definitely make that case. It's weird because I think that conversation, actually seen that conversation happen a lot now on Twitter, and I think generally, like, I don't think you can come to a conclusive answer about why, but I'm reading the chat. There's a lot of people saying sort of similar things, like, you could sort of smell the insecurity, you know, like it did feel that way, and I hope he's doing all right. Like, it's never a nice thing when, you know, you're getting hammered by loads of people online. Like, that's just never going to be a nice thing, innit? But yeah, just didn't think it was the greatest of looks. Thank you for the super chats coming in, by the way. We got Zayn Miassi just doing what Zayn Miassi does as well, just dropping in a couple
He'll be happy.
pennies for him.
Arsenal are 3-0 up, so Zayn will be very, very happy this evening.
Yeah, I was actually surprised by that just because of all the Aubameyang stuff that came out. I don't know what's wrong with Arsenal when it comes to their captains are just as bad as ours, it seems. So yeah, we'll see what goes on with them. I get depressed every time I see this team, says Luigi Fernando. Luigi, the game's not started.
Come on, mate.
Luigi, the game's not even started, bro. Relax.
Positivity.
What if we bang in 6 in the first half? Like, are you going to still be saying, like, the team makes you cry, bro? Like, you know, come on, relax. You know? It's all right. We got a super chat here from Nate who says he came off very defensive. If you really didn't care about the criticism you got, then you would not react that way. It wasn't even a bad question. Grant says, I would like to see Van der Beek starting. Also, why are 2 goalkeepers on the bench and Phil Jones on the bench? Is Phil Jones on the bench? Oh, God. Mike says, how sorry, I can't get off Phil Jones. Mike says, how about McGinn today? I'd love that man in our midfield. Well, look, I'm from the UK, so I couldn't watch the game legally. I couldn't watch the game at all. So I don't know how good McGinn was today. Do you know how good McGinn was today, Kev?
I don't have a clue, mate. And do you know what I'm thinking about here is Phil Jones. I'm just thinking Phil Jones is actually taking up a place on the bench of somebody that could be in that team. But again, you can't really not Rangnick, can you? Because he's done this a couple of times now. Again, we don't see what happens in training, but I can't imagine Phil Jones is ripping up trees. Are we just down to the bare bones and he's throwing him in as a defensive option? I really struggle to see that one. He's just... It makes me laugh.
I think Rangnick's approach has sort of been, pardon me, let me just like give everybody a chance just to sort of, you know, get him on side with people. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you know how the way he said, I would have played Phil Jones in that game if it wasn't for the fact that he wasn't registered. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he is just trying to, you know, create a sense of like togetherness and harmony about the squad. And people weren't like that. You're right. Like, you know, people saying, why would we have 2 goalkeepers on the bench or whatever? But maybe this is just because I really like Rangnick, but I trust in him. So I'm not going to sit and question these things until he shows to me I shouldn't.
Quality.
Well, for anybody missing Goldbridge, you might be fortunate. You might actually be about to get the best Goldbridge content you've ever had today. So sit tight and yeah, looking forward to that.
Make sure you like the video. We need a certain amount of likes before we start dropping Goldbridge's drunken rants. Well, hopefully it's not a rant. Hopefully it's very positive. Obviously, after today. I was
gonna say it could actually go really, really wrong, because if we were to lose and he's drunk, like, that's gonna be a mad video. But then if we win and it's like a really good win, he might start saying some mad stuff. Like, he might start predicting some silly stuff on that match reaction. So I'm actually really looking forward to that now. That's going to be good. Let's see.
Just around the grounds that... Ooh.
Oh yeah, the TUS opinion stuff. Yeah, be sure to do that, guys. Be sure to, if you have any sort of thoughts you want to give, right, be sure to tweet out on Twitter, #TUS opinion, and then whatever it is you have to say, and we'll get some of those on screen for you guys. So keep them rolling through. Keep the super chats coming in as well. We got one here from Mario who says, he came out as someone who's not willing to accept any critics. Imagine having Ollie complimenting you every day and suddenly a real coach comes in and says no. I think that must be a hard adjustment, right? Like, one of the narratives that was consistent throughout like Ollie's time was always the players like him. The players like him, and he's sort of like the pat on the back kind of guy. And with Ollie, things are easy and good. And when things go from being easy and good to a realist coming in, you know, that adjustment's always going to be hard. So,
are you, Levin, are you surprised that there's Did you see anybody that took the chance against midweek that you're surprised is not in the team today? Obviously, I think Mason Greenwood would have been the main one. That's probably the one player I would have changed for Rashford today if I had my say on it. I think I would have. Greenwood's better in form, I would say, than Rashford at the minute.
Yeah, probably, but I honestly wasn't expecting any changes, and like I was fine with there not being any changes. Like I'm fine with the idea of him trying to like, you know, sort of build on this like selection and see what he can get out of it, and then slowly sort of bringing in different pieces to see how they work. So of course, yeah, like I'd love to see Van der Beek in this team, right? Or maybe like a different centre-back partnership or whatever. And I think we will see those things eventually. But I'm not surprised that it's sort of like that team won against Crystal Palace, and it's like, okay, you won. You probably had a good 45 minutes, and we still had control in the second half, but the intensity wasn't there. Now another week of training, go out again. Can we do better now, right? Like I don't mind that approach at all.
It's how they set the tone for the game that I've been pleasantly surprised with the last couple of games. Not used to that under the Solskjaer regime, where we come out basically straight from the first whistle and get at teams. And I would expect that today. The only problem with this style of play and the pressing is that it takes a hell of a lot out of the team. So we seem to get to around half time and the intensity drops. So I'd be hoping we just go for him today. Norwich, I don't want to curse it. I'm not going to call Norwich anything.
Famous last words. Yeah, we don't need to worry about Norwich. Nick P, thank you very much for the super chat. Nick P, actually, I like this super chat because he said, guys, feel free to drop in some analogies, parables, long-winded stories, innuendos, etc., just to fill in any awkward silences. But you know what my favorite thing? I did a watch-along on That's Football for, I forgot even the game. I think it was Liverpool Man City or Chelsea Man City. It was like a big game, right? And my favorite thing about it was just none of the football conversation. Like, it was just so fun just talking absolute nonsense at periods of time in that game. So,
Levin, how did you get a bit right? I've done one watch along on Now That's Football during the Euros, and I got North Macedonia. How are you pulling big games out like Man City against Chelsea or whatever it is?
You know
North
what? Yeah.
Macedonia. Yeah.
To be fair, I think many people would say you gotta respect North Macedonia. That's a big game, bro. That's a massive game. So put some respect on their name. Look, some people always say to me, like, I get people DMing me like, what do you have like a secret on Mark or something? Like, what's going on, Levin? Like, why are you on that watch along? Why are you doing this? It's like, yeah, Mark. You know, if Mark ever gets me mad, I got a secret I'll tell the world. So he knows not to get me angry. Wait, Joey, can they hear you, by the way? I don't know if you need to let me know if they can hear you. Okay, guys, Joey just said something there where you're like, if that was true, I don't know what to say. So, yeah, hopefully that's not true. We keep getting through. I'm loving this, man. People getting their thoughts in here. Someone says Lebon, Kev. They didn't say Levin, they said Lebon. What would your score prediction look like looking at the current form and squad? Love from India. Well, I'll ask you.
You've just actually reminded me. I've not even done my score prediction in the United stand, so I better send that through in a moment. I'll have a little think. Let me think.
Well,
4-0.
4-0.
Check that out for positivity. Honestly, have it 4-0.
I like that scoreline. I'd like to see us like get more goals because if you look at that Crystal Palace game, we did have a lot of control. But when it came to like actual chance creation in the final third, you could sort of see where like we haven't necessarily like done a lot of work on that in that short time Rangnick had, of course, literally like 40 minutes or whatever. So hopefully this week they've been able to work on like actual, sort of things that they can do, patterns of play in the final third. Rangnick obviously talks about a lot of video work. So hopefully we can go out there and actually score a couple chances. Because we had mad shots. Like all the stats people on Twitter are mad excited. Like we're getting mad shots, but very low percentage shots, low XG shots. So
and like against Young Boys, we could have been 3-0 up at half time. I know it was 1-1, but you take your chances. We are at that stage where it's just a final decision making, isn't it? Mata could have scored. We did have a few chances that on another day you bury them and we'd be well out of sight. The game plan would have been executed brilliantly, but I'm just hoping for more of the same. The main thing for me is get at them from the off, from the first whistle straight into them. And we know that Norwich I've got the new manager bounce kind of thing. You'll have players playing for their futures at Norwich and that. But looking at the starting 11, I just think Manchester United will be far, far too superior, especially with this manager now, especially with that we've got a game plan and an identity.
That's the thing, right? That is the important bit, Kev, because you could technically make that argument about like every game we've played this season, even the bad ones. But now that we have like a manager where we know that there is an actual plan in place that can work, just the advantage we have just in quality alone should be enough to make the difference more times than not. So for those score predictions, a lot of you guys had some crazy score predictions. I was also going to say 8-0. When was the last time we had an 8-0 game?
Draughty usually says 7-0, doesn't he?
Yeah, Draughty does go 7-0, doesn't he? Have you ever been right on a 7-0, Draughty? On a 7-0 prediction?
Everyone can hear me now. There was that game where we played Southampton and we were 7-0 up.
9.
And then as soon as we hit 8, I think I smashed my desk. So, yeah.
Like your one chance.
I was not happy.
Yeah. Your one chance to get a 7-0 and it ended up being 9. So
I will say though, hashtag on screen for both of you, should McTominay be dropped and should Van de Beek be played? That's hashtag TUS opinion by Cheeto_official.
I do think under regular circumstances, yes. Like I think if let's say we fast forwarded and we were like 4 months in with Rangnick, like I think, yeah, it makes sense. Like if McTominay wasn't dropped, people would be surprised. I'm not, just at this early stage, like I'm not surprised that he's not dropping anyone. You know what I mean? Like I'm not surprised by that whatsoever. But yeah, I think under regular circumstances you would drop McTominay and play Van der Beek. Yes, 100%.
This is the team that he can trust. You know, this is the team that beat Crystal Palace. For me, that's exactly apart from Rashford, a lot of people will complain about McTominay being in there, but McTominay and Donny van der Beek, two totally kind of different players, aren't they? For what you get. I think defensively, McTominay's in there for what he can offer. And I know a lot of people take the piss and that and say all he does is bring energy and vibes and all this and that. There's a bit more to him. He's certainly not in form anyway. But as we said earlier, they always seem to pick him for some reason, managers.
I don't think, like, when it comes to like defensively, because again, it's something I talked about on one of the shows, when it comes to just like even like rest defense when we have the ball and what happens when we lose it. It's nothing that I think is particularly hard or can't be done, right? So like all the things that I think you'd say McTominay does for the team, in theory, I think like Donny could do all those things as well, right? And better, because he's just like a better footballer, exactly, right? I think it's more so just about having a coach who will tell him to do those things. Like the one biggest problem I always had was I never felt with Ollie that Donny actually knew what it was expected for him to even have a chance to be in the team. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's so important as a player. Like, you need to know what your coach actually wants from you in the role he's playing you in, and what does he require for you to actually be in contention to be a first team player and starting week in, week out. And that was never clear. Whereas I feel like Rangnick could work with Donny and be like, look, yeah, you're better on the ball than McTominay. Yeah, you're better passer and the McTominay, blah, blah, blah. But McTominay does this positionally when we have the ball and he's a lot deeper. Can you stay here? Hold. You see when Fred pushes up there, can you stay here and make sure you come? And I think Van der Beek would be like, yeah, I can do that. And I feel like, you know, he'd get the opportunity and he'd probably shine. So, yeah, hopefully he gets a chance.
I can see him being a Rangnick player. I don't think it'll take too long for him to suss out that he should know anyway, shouldn't he, that Donny van der Beek's a fantastic footballer. And it's been one again that we have debated so many times. It doesn't even divide Manchester United fans. I think that the big myth has been, why did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer sign him? And why did he totally underplay him? It was quite baffling at times, wasn't it? And then to kind of bring him on for the last 2 minutes of games when you're like, what is the point? But it is a fantastic footballer. And I think he showed in the second half against Watford what he can do and what he's all about. And he's different to any other midfielder because he plays a ball forward.
Kev, can I just ask, has your wife put in a super chat?
No, I don't think.
Because there's someone called Plop, and basically they said, can you ask Draughty to give a shout out to my mate Kevin and call him a prat? So, first super chat I've ever had, but thanks, Plop. But I was just wondering if it's your wife, Kev. So,
I would hope it's not.
I always love them super chats. Like, you know, when Mark just gets those ones where, like, I feel like every single show Mark does, it's always just someone saying, "Hi, Mark, love your show. Can you call my friend blah 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 a prat?" And it's just like
A bloody prat.
It's become like just a running thing that is happening every single show. But yeah, if you wanna send a super chat for us to call someone a prat, be sure to do that.
I'll read them out.
Apparently, people in chat talking about Chelsea getting a penalty, Pen FC. Guys, you know, so mad that I was looking at today, right? Martial last season was number 1 in the Premier League for penalties, 1 per 90. And like, I realize now that he doesn't play as much, and we don't win as many penalties. And it's just like, totally unrelated to him wanting to leave and everything, and like the whole debates and conversations about him. But it was just something that I noticed, right? Like, we've not really been winning that many penalties recently. And it's because he was usually the one that was winning penalties for us. So,
and that is a massive part of Martial's game, that you lose when he's not in the team, because he actually drives at defenders in the box, doesn't he? Ronaldo might do it in moments. You'd like to think that Greenwood would, but yeah, the main one has been Martial. You're right in pointing out that penalty-wise, he used to basically win loads of penalties, didn't he? And that's because of his game and the way that he goes about things. And he knows that if he gets touched in that box, he's going down.
Yeah, he's really good at that. I got some super chats here for you, Kev, right? So fire away. We got Addy saying, what do you guys think about De Jong to United? We also have My Big Melons. Thank you for the super chat. He says, Bellingham for Martial / Donny plus McTominay. Who says no? Dortmund. And Andy says, whatever happens today, people need to give Ralph a few months. He will need his coaches and people above him to back him. Proper manager. Big up, Andy, for the super chat. We'll start off at the beginning. De Jong, what do you think of De Jong?
I think he's a great player. Absolutely brilliant. I was obsessed with that Ajax team, the one that, got to the semi-final of the Champions League. And I think it's testament to Ajax in a way, the way that club is run, because I just don't understand how they keep losing top talent, and they just seem to keep reproducing players. This has happened since I was a kid in the 90s. The likes of Kluivert, Seedorf, Davids, fantastic team. And they always move on to pastures new, don't they? They always want to test themselves at a bigger club. I would take him at Manchester United. Not a problem. He's certainly an upgrade on McTominay.
You know what's mad that I don't think gets discussed enough with Ajax? I think they actually really benefited from COVID in that they didn't have the typical cycle of loads of big clubs coming in for their talent. So they sort of had like an extra year of keeping their talent. And that's why like they have the squad they have now. Whereas if it wasn't for COVID, a couple of them players who they have in their squad now, who are doing really well for them in like the Champions League and stuff, probably would have been poached by bigger clubs. So I think that was really good. I think after this season, that squad's going to get broken up like, the one that they had a couple of years ago did. So, yeah. No,
and you think they lost De Ligt as well.
Yeah.
Quality player. Took him a while to adjust to life in Italy, but again...
He's still adjusting, but...
We would have took him, wouldn't we? Instead of Harry Maguire at that time.
Didn't we have the chance? Like I remember like hearing stories that we could have had him in the academy, but we said no then. Like back then, way back then, like when he was like just an academy player. So yeah, mistakes been made.
Full time. I'm just going to say something quickly. I've just got one eye on it. Chelsea's finished 3-2. They've beaten Leeds, and I don't know what's gone on after the game, but there is a mass brawl. Every single player, yeah.
Really?
We want to keep an eye on later. Everyone was on the pitch in the corner. I was just trying to keep a kind of eye on it. But
you sure it's not a Christmas buffet?
The buffet is now open. Yeah.
Well, that's mad though. I think a lot of people don't realize that like Chelsea versus Leeds is like a massive rivery, and this is like the first time they've had a full stadium and played each other in the Premier League for so many years, right? So. Because last year COVID, I don't think there was many people in the ground, but this is
I'm guessing it's something. The penalty they got in the 94th minute to make it 3-2. It's going to be something to do with that, because it was a VAR call, so it went to VAR. So whether they were disputing that or what, but oh well, Chelsea have done the business. It's up to United to do it now, isn't it? Well, how long have we got now? Coming up to half an hour until kick-off. So keep getting the questions in, and players are just That's the players arriving.
It's so mad to me how like we have moved on from like the Ollie era, and I just saw like 2 chats back to back of one guy saying Ollie in, one guy saying Ollie out, and it's like we are so far removed from that. What is going on? Levin, can you speak a little silent? Am I too loud? If I'm too loud, I'm sure our producer Jordy can turn me down, but I think my levels are fine. So
I think it's fine. Yeah,
fine.
yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
If anything, I'm going to turn you up louder now just to annoy that person. So.
Yeah, turn me up all the way louder, actually. I think that's what the people need. More super chats, I believe. We got Carl Walsh saying, does anybody else think Greenwood deserve to start over Rashford based on recent form? I think a lot of people do, Carl. And Andy, again, with another super chat, who said, are both of you going to go mental during the game like Mark does? Totally forget your broadcasting. Look, the key is with these, yeah, like the key is you can't treat it like a morning show or something, like, because you will just go mad that way, innit? Like at a certain point, once the game kicks off, like you do just sort of, you know, ease up a bit, you relax a bit, and you just sort of, you know, you go with the flow of the game, innit? But
and that's the thing that I find really intriguing and exciting about this watch along, because the only one I've ever done before was North Macedonia, which obviously I wasn't too fussed about, but this is Manchester United. So the worrying thing for me is I don't know how I'm going to react to what's happening, because I don't watch myself when I'm watching a match, you know, when I'm just sat in front of the telly, and then I'm thinking, I wonder why I shout at my telly, like, you know, and I'm like, I'm going to have to kind of tone it down slightly. But yeah, if they score, I'm going proper chicken oriental, man.
That's another thing, like, I don't think about other people. Like, are you like a shouter, Kev? Like, when you're sitting at home watching from on your TV, like, are you the guy that like gets up and like, you just shout and scream and go mad, or are you just sort of like...
Levin, if you would have been my next door neighbour for when United were 4-0 down against Liverpool that day, you would have heard words that you would not repeat. There was a hell of a lot of shouting, a hell of a lot of anger, just a lot of swearing, basically, and anger. It was a horrible day, but it got me through it.
Yeah, that's the day I don't want to think back to. So we'll quickly move on. Someone in the chat said, Levin, can you call my dog Echo a prat? Echo, you're a prat. Oh, wow. That felt so relieving. I know why Mark does it now. It's so relieving. That felt good. I don't know why.
But the dog's so depressed, so thanks.
Oh, well.
Just depressed a small little dog.
I hope your dog's all right, to be fair. I want a pet. I've never had a pet, you know. I want a pet. I feel like I'm at that stage in my life. I don't know what kind of pet I would get, but I do know I want a pet.
There's one for the comments. Any suggestions for Levin? What pet?
Nothing weird though. Like, you know, like there'll be someone in the chat that goes like, "Oh, get an iguana or something." Like, you know, I just you know, I want to keep it simple, like maybe a dog or a cat or something like that. But
not a snake or something, no.
Yeah, no, not a snake, not a snake. Lineup, someone said in chat, lineup is the same lineup as Crystal Palace. I'm sure we'll be able to get back up at some point, but essentially it's Ronaldo and Rashford up front, Bruno and Sancho as the number 10s, McFred in the pivot, Delo and Tellers on the flanks, and then Maguire and Lindelof together, as you know, they've been for quite a while now, it feels like. And then the one and only David De Gea in goal.
I think the one thing we can take from that lineup, Luke Shaw and Aaron Wan-Bissaka, they've got a fight on their hands now, haven't they, to get back into this team. And that's what makes it so intriguing and interesting, because they would be two of the first names on the team sheet, and now they've got a hell of a lot to think about. But it makes it great from a United perspective, because they have to up the game now and win the place back in the team. There's none of this, Wan-Bissaka's right back because we've got nobody else. Dalot totally deserves to be in that team. As an attacking threat, he's at levels above Wan-Bissaka when it comes to attacking.
Yeah, it just comes more naturally to him. You can sort of see that where he feels more comfortable. Like the one big problem with Wan-Bissaka as well that doesn't help is ultimately like people will judge things on what they can see, and a lot of the time when Wan-Bissaka's on the ball, like it doesn't look quite right. Like he doesn't look as comfortable on the ball, and you know that's not always like the measurement of how good someone is or how comfortable they actually are. But I don't think that's ever helped him. Like it doesn't quite look right sometimes. And I think another good game from Delo and Tellers will only just heat more and more pressure. Like that was a big thing going into that game against Young Boys. Like because of how good attacking wise Delo was, everybody was just going to be watching Wan-Bissaka to see whether he can put on any sort of decent attacking performance. And if that's not something that naturally comes to him, yeah, it's not going to be easy to push Delo out the squad. So we'll see. Hopefully he's recovering now.
He's taken his opportunity very well, I've got to say that. And he did well at AC Milan as well, didn't he, Dalot?
Yeah, he did all right. He did all right. I don't want to say he did well. He did all right. I think he's one of them players where he probably... I feel like he's one of them players that just needs to sort of be believed in. And I think now with him having a better spell with Ralph coming in, I'm sure Ralph will like what he sees. And that would be a world of good for him, the confidence he gets from that. Does anybody know, right? Has any reporter asked Ralph about the comments he made about Luke Shaw? That's something I feel like I've not seen addressed. Or maybe it has been and I just missed it.
No, I've not seen that.
There were the comments. We all know that Ralph made them comments about Luke Shaw last season. And it was before like Luke Shaw had a good spell of form last season. But has any reporter like actually asked him about that? Like, has any reporter gone, oh, you did say something about Luke Shaw last season. How do you feel about Luke Shaw now? Like, has anybody asked him that? Or every reporter just gone quiet? Because I see bare comments and bare, questions about the goalkeeper situation and other things that we don't need to be talking about. But nobody seeming to ask the hard questions. I'm sure someone in the chat will let me know.
Well, he's not in the team, so that would probably tell you a lot about his thinking on Luke Shaw. And tell us as an attacking threat, set pieces, corners. He brings a lot to the party, doesn't he? It's totally justified in being in. But again, I think the big one for me would have been Greenwood in for Rashford. Maybe would have liked to have seen Donny van der Beek, but we roll with the team that we've got. Yeah.
Big up Nick. Nick, I see Nick everywhere. Nick's on Insta Lives on the United Stand. I see him on Twitter and Spaces as well. So big up Nick with the super chat. He said, we've got Sancho, Paul Pogba and Fred. Kevin Ashford is Mank born and bred. Hey,
Loving that. I like that. He said, put me right in the mood for the game, mate. Fair play to you, mate.
Yeah. A bit of singing for everyone. That's the one thing I get every show, Kev. Every show I get people ask me to sing different things. And sometimes I just want to do it.
Beautiful voice, Levin, though, in fairness.
Thank you. Sometimes I do want to give it to them, do you know what I mean? Like last Watchalong, I wanted to like bust out the Mariah Carey, do you know what I mean? And just sort of go for it. But maybe at some point in this stream, we'll go for it.
If United win, I want for Christmas, Mariah Carey, and you've got to hit the high bits.
The high bits.
About,
you're asking me to test my range. You're asking me to test the range. Look, if we win today, I will sing Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas Is You. I will do that. So
come on, United.
I would love to see Ronaldo just get like a hat trick, because that would be nice, Nick. I agree. Like a Ronaldo hat trick, something like that. Just something. I want something big. That would be nice.
Just a convincing victory, really, wouldn't it? When we get the full package, we've had games under Solskjaer where I know we went into the likes of Liverpool and Man City, and it was like, I'm not even bothered about the performance. I just want to win. You just want a result. But I think now it's not getting too confident. It's just seeing the style of play and the game plan that we've got. And there is no reason that very soon it will click into place where we're going to get both of them, hopefully on a consistent basis, where we're playing good football and we're winning convincingly, because this is what the top teams do, don't they? And we've done it in the past. We know exactly what it's all about. It is about beating the teams that you should, really, and then competing with the other ones to try and get into top four and challenge for titles. We're a bit off that at the minute, like, but
yeah, we are a bit off that. You know what's funny now that you mention it? Like, one thing that I think is becoming, clearer and clearer by the day with Ralph is that he does want the Manchester United job. Like, I don't think he wants to just be 6-month interim, then move upstairs. Like, I actually think he really does want the job. And I saw a lot of people like last week, especially saying, no, I wouldn't want Ralph to have the job. And like, I get that, because I think a lot of people want to like maybe go out and get a Ten Hag or one of their other sort of favorite managers that they've been eyeing up for a while. But if Ralph was to come in and have like a really good season, and we knew that he would have influence on what's sort of going on upstairs, like, would you be against him? Like, and not like an Ollie thing of like in a couple months before the season ends, he gets the job, but like actually at the end of the season, once we've seen how the season wraps up, if he does like do really well, would you be against it?
I wouldn't be. Do you know what? I wouldn't be against it, but at the same time, if a Ten Hag was available, and then we kept on Rangnick, and let's say Ten Hag, who would be the ideal kind of longer term manager, if he was then to move to another like big club, and that's kind of ruled him ever coming to Manchester United, that would be a kind of interesting question to throw out. I think I would look at that totally different. But if the manager that isn't available at that present time, then Rangnick, why not? What he's got to do is get Manchester United into the top four, and we need to be challenging, for a trophy as well this season. And if he achieves that, he's gonna, like Tuchel at Chelsea, isn't it? Comes in, absolutely smashes it, Champions League, top four finish, and he gets the job on the strength of that, really, doesn't he? So there is no doubt in my mind that if he is successful, and I'll tell you the other thing that was really interesting about his comments in the first press conference was the fact that he talked himself up for the job. I like that. Yeah. That's a hell of a lot of, that's ambition, that, to be rocking up at Manchester United and actually looking past the 6 months or whatever that he's been given, and actually looking at the future and thinking, well, if I'm successful here, I don't want to leave. And if the brand of football comes with it as well, we need to look at that and just go, this is fantastic. And then why you'd be like, well, why should we change it? But my big one would be if a long-term manager like a Ten Hag was, let's just say, for instance, I don't know, Pep Guardiola left City and Ten Hag went to City. I'd be like, no, we need to be competing for that manager, the next sort of top-class coach.
It's weird because you mentioned something, and I do want to address it and talk about it. There was this guy on TalkSport who like called in and like went on some mad rant about United, and it was pretty entertaining. I'm sure some people like will remember. I forgot the guy's name and everything, but there was one thing that he said that stuck with me, and because I actually really think it's a great point. He talked about like, long-term managers and people talking about long-term managers. I think in particular he was saying like Ed Woodward seemingly always wants like a long-term manager. And he made the point, like, there are no long-term managers. There are just short-term managers that keep winning. And I do think that's a great point, because ultimately it's like, I don't think you should go out there thinking, oh, is this manager like the kind of guy who is just going to be with us long-term? Ultimately, that's always just going to be contingent on whether he's winning. You know what I mean? Like, you could go out there and get Ten Hag and be like, yeah, he's a long-term manager. But if after 2 seasons, like, he's not winning anymore, people will be saying, yeah, he's got to go, right? So, like, I think the approach of looking at it going, oh, we need a long-term person, like, I don't think that's the right approach at all. I think it should always be, can this person come in and get results and build something here and play in a way that will be entertaining for us as fans?
And the thing is, Levin, you look at... it's something I brought up a while ago in the United Stand, and I said, I think the days of these long-term managers are well gone. Well, they are anyway. You're never going to get another Arsene Wenger or a Sir Alex Ferguson. And as much as we've looked at the Chelsea model and gone, they basically go through managers on a consistent basis and just rip it up and new ideas, fresh ideas. Maybe we need to be looking at that, because since Sir Alex Ferguson's left, it has not worked, has it? And how many managers have we had since then? So we're no different in this way. It's just about getting a top-class manager in, which I do believe we have got now. Yeah.
Guys, we are getting closer and closer to kickoff. How long exactly are we away? We're like 17 or so minutes. I've got the game up now just so I can see what's going on, but I'm going to move my chat here. So if you constantly see me looking this way, it's not because I'm trying to look at Kev, but... I'm not actually directly trying to look at Kev, but it will look that way, just so I can read chat and see what you guys are saying, see all your super chats. We do have some super chats though, Kev. We got another one from Carl who said, if we get top 4 playing good football, then I'd keep him in the dugout another year and avoid more upheaval. I think that's a great point. And Mass coming in with a super chat saying, I think Ralph has something to prove to the football world and he has the skills and the motivation to do so. Future legend.
And the thing is, Levin, with if we're talking about, like I say, if he achieves great things this season and they keep him on, he'll have been kept on because he's achieved something. So And a lot of people are like, yeah, but it's the same thing that we did with Solskjaer. It isn't, mate. You know, it's totally different. Solskjaer was an appointment that was made on pure sentiment, emotion. Now, he won them games towards the end of the season, did really well, but it was always still a massive gamble because everybody will look at him and say, well, what's he done? Apart from managing in the Norwegian league, he took Swansea down, you know, and people look at that and go, he does not have experience of being a top class manager. The same that Frank Lampard was at Chelsea, you know, failed. They just got rid of him. So for him to stay on will suggest that he's had a really good season, and Manchester United have had a better season than what we would have under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest differences is that, like, Rangnick is somebody who has top class pedigree, but hasn't necessarily had the opportunity or taken the opportunity to do it at one of the top clubs, right? Because I'm sure there are people who listen to what you just said and go, well, Kev, Rangnick's not achieved anything really at the big clubs either. But it's like, it is different because, don't get me started on that. I saw another one from Tim Sherwood today where, like, Tim Sherwood's going, United fans, you got to calm down because nobody wanted him. And it's like, it's the most infuriating thing. And like, Jenny, I don't mean to, like, you know, I'm not trying to insult these, you know, pundits or whatever, but you look up the definition of a pundit, it's a football expert, or not football expert, it's just an expert in a particular field, right? So in football, pundits are people who are football experts. If you are being employed by a broadcaster to be an expert and give your expertise, the bare minimum is to research the people you're going to be talking about. So for the pundits who sit there and go, yeah, nobody wanted him, so I think United fans got to calm down. A 2-minute Google search, Kev, would have dispelled the whole nobody wanted him. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, it's a shame, man, because a lot of the pundits just aren't pundits. Like, they're not experts. They are just most of the time.
Sky Sports for you. It's become very clickbaity at the minute, I think. I wouldn't be surprised if they just look at Paul Merson and say, we'll put another tenner in your pay packet here if you just say that, you know, Ronaldo's crap, you know, because he did that as well. He went down. Everybody else was saying, what a fantastic signing, Ronaldo coming back to it. And he was one of the only ones that was like opposed to it. You know, his legs have gone and he won't be scoring goals on a regular basis. And he put that theory to bed anyway. There is a few of them, aren't there, that just come out with horse shit. That's what I would say. But
yeah, well, you'll get it. You'll get that. It is what it is. Guys, we appreciate all the super chats coming in. Alexander says, who would your dream centre mid pairing be for United if you had unlimited budget? P.S. Keep up the great work. Well, I appreciate that, Alexander. Who would your dream partnership be? I have one in mind, but I'll let you go first.
Go on, then. You hit me first.
Okay.
Let me have a little think.
Fine. I'll go first. Honestly, some people might say this is mad, but it's a partnership that's already a partnership. I would go Goretzka and Kimmich. Yeah, I'd go Goretzka and Kimmich. I think that's an example of just really good balance, players who are just world-class, elite in their positions, and I think would do a good job. I think if I was going to maybe change it, maybe I'd go somebody else in Kimmich. But yeah, I think Goretzka and Kimmich would be pretty good. So that'd be mine.
I would say if you could get a prime N'Golo Kante, for me, would be in that team. Do you know what? I'd probably go.
Who'd you put him with?
I think I'd go for Kante and probably De Bruyne as a bit of a dream team, but that's my opinion anyway. Thanks for the question.
Yeah, good question. Keep them questions coming in like that, guys. Keep them coming in. There is plenty of time to fill, I'll tell you that much. We do not lack time. We have someone who disagrees with us. This is what I like. I like to get the conversation
Disagreed
going.
with us?
We how dare you?
Yeah.
Louis says, have to disagree with you guys about long-term managers. The real problem here are these players. Players are the cause of most managers falling short. Or falling short, maybe, did he say? Yeah, falling short, he said, sorry. I get that. I do think there's times when players need to take more accountability, but I don't think within your super chat, you maybe sort of explained why you disagree. I'd love to hear why you disagree, because yeah, I'm sure players do often play a part, but you know, as a manager, there's a lot of collective responsibility that you sort of have to assume, and that's just how management is. And maybe that's not right, but that's just how management is and always will be. Somebody said Rice and Goretzka, Keane and Bruno. Oh, if you're talking about Roy Keane, he's, I wouldn't want Roy Keane now. He's pretty old, but a prime Roy Keane when he was actively playing, yeah, I'll take him any day. Guys, keep your combinations coming in. I'm seeing a lot of people saying ex-players. Current players, guys. If you want to go ex-players, we could throw in some mad combinations with ex-players. But
yeah, Zidane would be in there.
Oh yeah. Speaking of Zidane, I wonder where he ends up as a manager. What he ends up doing. A lot of people, were surprised that we weren't able to get him as a manager. But I think with the way it ended up, I'm fine with it. With us getting Rangnick instead, I'm pretty fine with it. But
do you think more long term? Do you think United are looking at Pochettino still? It's crazy because we've debated so much on the United stand. Like you say, Zidane, you almost forget about him now. But at one stage, it seemed like it was nailed on, and then Pochettino, he's coming in, and Zidane's going to go to PSG, and everyone's going to be happy. And like and I understand it's resting a bit now because we've got Rangnick in, but. What's your think on it, or do you think that Rangnick will get another season if he's successful?
Do I think Manchester United are still going to pursue Pochettino? No, just because I'd like to think that Rangnick has a good season, and so they are able to take his advice. And I don't think Rangnick would be advising the club to pursue Pochettino. By the end of the season. So yeah, I hope not. I think, we were linked to so many people and it could have went any sort of way. I think the club sort of stumbled into the best case scenario with Rangnick in terms of just how that could play out. But I think a lot of people underestimate, just based off of what he himself has said in press conferences and whatnot. Like, we all had our assumptions about what that sort of consultancy role will be. But based on everything he said, and I do want to believe him because I feel like he's been nothing but honest, a lot of that will just be contingent on how the rest of the season goes. Like, a lot of that seems to be not determined yet, which does worry me because I think regardless of whether, Rangnick, things work out with Rangnick this season as a manager over the next couple of months, I still think he should have, a big influence in how things go in our club moving forward over the next 2 years. But the way he spoke about it, it sort of implied that that wouldn't be the case. And that does worry me a bit. But, all I can do is just hope the team continues to play well so that isn't even a possibility. And
that is a massive part of it, isn't it? The fact that he could have input into our next manager, the manager beyond him as well. I think that makes it very, very interesting, that because this is somebody who clearly knows what he's doing, which is nice for a change.
I love this super chat here.
What question have you got now?
We got a super chat saying, LEV and KEV, give us a review of your first 60 minutes of your watch-along debuts on the United stand. I have tears in my eyes in Robbie Savage's voice from that Young Boys game. What's the first 60 minutes been like? You enjoying it so far, Kev?
Do you know, it's flown. I've been having that much fun. And in anticipation of Norwich against Manchester United. It's a huge game. I'm just so thankful for being given me chance to be here on the United stand and just answering questions, singing songs. It's only going to get better, mate. It's not even started yet. Do you know what I mean? We're minutes away from kickoff. I cannot contain my excitement.
That is the big thing, right? We're not even started yet. Look, it's been fun. We appreciate you guys all in chat for hanging out. Even the people that don't chat, like I sort of, I feel like we underappreciate the people. There's just people who just watch, like, and just don't chat. Like there's thousands of them. In fact, I'm pretty sure the majority of people don't actually chat, right? So for the people who aren't chatting and are just listening to us, hi. Hope you're having a good day. Happy holidays. We got Louis coming back to clarify. He said, for example, if a player decides not to put in a shift for whatever reason, it will cost the manager the job. Thanks. Happy holidays. Happy holidays to you too. And yeah, like I think we get that, right? Like players definitely have to take accountability, and sometimes a manager can lose players and maybe they don't perform for him. But ultimately, what ends up happening is, you'd expect managers to be able to cycle in those sort of players. And if a manager does lose the squad, typically there's reasons behind that. Like I think it's very rare that you find managers who have just managers who are actually good managers who have lost their squads for no apparent reason. You know, like a lot of the time, those situations are situations that have become toxic, or situations where the players don't believe the manager can actually take them forward and improve the team and be good enough. And maybe that's too much power that players have. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't think, I just don't think we're in a situation where that's too big of a problem for managers.
At least we're getting close to kick-off now, mate. Anyway.
Yeah, we're getting closer. We're getting closer.
We are.
And as we get closer, more super chats come in. We got PA, not from PA. A bit confused there. Is it PA or is it not from PA? I can't figure out. He says Ralph will definitely be manager next season. He will need the summer window to clean up the squad and bring in players he needs. At the end of the next season, he will move up to the consultancy position. I really want to see what happens next summer, because we spent big this summer. We spent a lot of money this summer on players, but we have a lot of players leaving and the squad by the end of the season. A lot of players whose contracts are expiring, and then a couple of players who you'd expect will just naturally sort of move on, right? I.e. Martial, etc. And so like there's going to be like a lot of squad turnover potentially. So we will have to spend big to counteract that. Like, if you lose 7 or 8 players, like you gotta spend to, you gotta bring those players back in somehow. A combination of bringing players in plus promoting youth players, I'm sure. But yeah, I do expect us to actually go out there and,
Do you think there'll be a bit of a mass clear out this summer, Levin? Or
I'd like to hope so with Rangnick coming in, because I think Rangnick, he's known for that. He's known for reducing the age of squads, right? Like I'm sure, I don't know what our average age is in our squad right now, but I know he likes to sort of decrease that quite a bit, and so I'd expect similar if he is to stay on. And of course, with so many players being lost, yeah, I think we'll have to go out there and spend, definitely.
Some big names leaving, won't there? Like you say, I only just seen that about Martial. Is he actually quoted as saying, or is that the agent that's come out to say that he wants to leave Manchester United?
Or Martial? Yeah, look, I said on the show, I did the presser, and the news dropped right before the presser, so I sort of covered it, and it was my initial thoughts, but my thoughts haven't actually changed. I think it makes perfect sense for him at this stage in his career. I think Tony is somebody who, when he was younger, the ceiling for him seemed so high, and I don't know if he'll ever hit that ceiling anymore, but at the very least, I know that there is a player in there. What his best position is, I'm not sure anymore, but I do know there's a player in there, and I think he needs to just be somewhere where he can play week in, week out, where he doesn't have to look over his shoulder, because that's one of the biggest things. Even if he does fight for a spot here now, and he wins his spot, any sort of slip up, and you got some of the best strikers, in the Premier League on your shoulder, just, ready to take your space. And I don't think he needs that right now. I think, right now he needs to be in a low pressure environment where he knows he can just sort of play week in, week out. And that's not going to be Manchester United. And it's fine. Sometimes players move on, they do better. Sometimes we get players, they don't work out. That's just a part of football. I don't hold any grudges against that.
Players are out on the pitch.
Yeah, the players are walking out.
Yeah.
Oh, this is weird. This is a weird feeling. Hopefully we can go out there and get the result. Norwich under Dean Smith.
How are you feeling, Levin? What's up with you now? What's up with you? What's the weird feeling? Please don't say negativity. Don't say you've got a horrible feeling about this game. No, but I'm not having it, man.
I did just get. Maybe, I think it was a bit of a dodgy meal, maybe, but I don't know. I just got a bit of a weird feeling there when you said the players are walking out, and I saw them walking out. I don't know. I just got a bit of a weird one. But ignore me. I'm not important. So yeah, it's still going to be 7-0 according to Jordy. We're fine.
He'll get it one day. It'll rattle in 7-0.
I'm telling you, today's the day. Today's the day. Nice, I'm sorry, I can't get over this. I don't get the people in chat who are still just spamming Ollie out. Ollie's gone, guys. Like I don't know. I don't know if you missed the memo. Like I know it's been a hectic couple of weeks in the world in general, but Ollie is gone. You don't need to put Ollie out in the chat anymore. I can assure you. Yeah.
He's gone, has he?
Yeah, Ollie has gone. Believe it or not, Ollie is no longer the manager.
Breaking news here on the United Stand. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has left Manchester United.
Slow Sports News.
Yeah, that's the one that Mark says. Mark says, Slow Sports News, breaking news, Slow Sports News, Jim White. That's what Mark always
like
says.
Here in Slow Sports News.
Yeah. No, that's class. That's class, guys. Look, again, I'm going to ask you guys for your final score predictions before the game kicks off.
Levin, I'm having a quick toilet break. I'll be 1 minute, mate.
No problem. No problem.
Ritual.
No problem, my friend. No problem. I wonder how we're going to do this in terms of time, Drawty. Is it are you just going to sync up with one of us, or I don't even know if Kevin and I are going to be synced. So
I'm going to sync with you, dude. So if you just let us know, what time you're on, and then that's fine.
All right, cool. Sounds good. Hopefully me and Kevin aren't too far apart. Like, it'd be so awkward if Kev just like jumps up celebrating and I just don't have a clue what's going on. And try and avoid spoilers, guys. Try and avoid spoilers. Nobody likes people who spoil stuff. If there is a bit of delay, but hopefully that shouldn't be. I'm loving your score predictions though. Really, really positive score predictions, which I think is a sign of change and new times. You know, we've all been talking about this new era at United. All the score predictions I'm seeing right now. So I love how all of you are now ironically putting Ollie out. All of you out here just putting in really good score predictions. Some unrealistic, some a tad bit unrealistic, but another clean sheet would be good. Clean sheet, I think, is really important, especially for Rangnick when it comes to having control. That's always going to be big. So we're about to kick off, it seems. Has the game kicked off for you? Is there a massive delay between us, or are you still waiting to kick off?
Just kicked off now.
Okay. Well,
I'm slightly behind.
No, you're actually ahead of me, I believe.
Okay, so 11's on the AOL dial-up. All right, fine.
Well, but this is what I don't understand. I'm using Now TV and like Sky Sports main event.
I think they're 2 minutes behind though. I'm pretty sure there's a 2 minute delay on Now.
Because I just kicked off now. That's my delay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's 24 seconds. I'm coming up to 30 seconds now.
So Kevin, it's already half time, isn't it?
that is a mad delay. Oh no. Oh no, that's a mad delay.
Kevin, just pause it for 20 seconds.
Oh, that's a mad delay. Let me see if I can get the game up on something else. Let me see. That's the worst one, man. That's why. Like, I knew there was gonna be something. Everything's been too perfect so far this stream. Yeah, I knew there was gonna be something.
So am I gonna have to commentate for you now? Oh,
yeah, you might have to. My commentary's gonna be late.
Hold on, guys. So Kev, what are you on now? A minute? A minute 6?
Minute 12.
Right. I'm gonna ask you to pause for 20 seconds, and then I'll tell you when you can go again if Levin's still got the game on.
Right. Are you ready?
So, yep. Pause. In the meantime, let's just talk about life.
Well, we'll talk about the game. We've just started. I was not focusing because I was trying to see if I could get it up somewhere else, but I can't. And Norwich in possession. I did actually really enjoy commentating last time when I did the Man City game. There was like a period where I actually just commentated it like I would if I was like doing an esports tournament or something, and it was pretty fun. Pretty fun. So we might do that at some point. Big Ralph standing on the sidelines, looking right, mean.
So we're absolutely bang on now, Levin.
What are you on?
Minute 45, 46.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, cool. We are bang on. So the time you guys can see on the screen is accurate. That is good. We are all good. If you are a bit ahead, you can pause as well with us so you can be in sync. And that's what I used to actually do when I'd watch Mark's watch-alongs, because he'd always be ahead of me. So I would just pause it. Fortunately, you can do that with YouTube's player.
I've just had to put my phone out of sight in case I get a goal alert on that, and that informs me before it goes in. So that is well out of sight now.
You know what, yeah? When I was at uni, I used to watch games with one of my mates, and he was the worst because he has that, but he wouldn't turn it off. So like we're watching the game, and his phone would just start buzzing off, and it's like, bro, stop spoiling the game. Like, just turn it off. Like, put your phone aside. And he just wouldn't. So we'd always just know. Like, if we got a penalty, and we got a lot of them last season, we had a lot of penalties last season. If we got a penalty, I'd know if we scored or not before the penalty was even taken, just because of him, and it was just always really annoying.
Fred's got caught in possession there. Bit of a scrappy start to the game, really. It's not.
Yeah, it's been a bit back and forth so far. Hopefully we can sort of gain a bit of control though. Really looking forward to seeing how the fullbacks play in this game.
It's just given us a different dimension to the team. When you're so used to Luke Shaw and Wan-Bissaka, you know, to mix, and that's such a huge part of the team now, the fullbacks, aren't they? Any top team, and they're bombing forward. Ooh.
McTominay with a bit of a dodgy header there.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah. A lot of pressure is going to be on McTominay. A lot of pressure is going to be on McTominay because there's been a lot of paper talk and whatnot. Of course, he's done that interview. You know, it was his birthday and everything as well. So he needs a big game. He needs to have a big game.
That's a great ball. Norwich on the break here.
Reds, hello? Wake up.
That's a dive. Get up.
I think like...
Is he given it?
Yeah, rest giving a foul. People going, Mark deserves a holiday. Mark, where's Mark? Guys.
He does deserve a holiday, in fairness to him. Sure,
yeah.
Nobody can begrudge him.
If you like think about it in like work hours, like he does sort of like an unreal amount of hours in work, you know?
24 hours a day, that man.
Yeah, yeah.
It's actually 27,
Remember though, guys,
but, you know, fine.
Remember though, guys, there is Mark will be doing a match reaction. Apparently, it will be a drunk match reaction as well. So if you want some Mark content, there will be some on the channel today. Don't worry about it. All right, this is what I want to see. I want to see. We did a really good job in the Crystal Palace game of just having like loads of territory, right? Where we were just parked in their half, and I want to see that again today.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. You don't have to rush it, do you? Wait for the opportunities.
Mark is just sad Martial wants to leave. Mark in our group chat, guys. Mark was like, Alex in the United Sun group chat was like, Martial FC, what's going to happen to them? They're all going to be gone soon. And Mark was like, I'm Martial FC. And I was just dying at that. Guys, Martial FC, what's going to happen? I always wonder that, right? What happens to like the player FC if the player like gets transferred? Do they just all like migrate to the new club?
I think that's how it works.
Is that how it works? So like, who left recently that had like an FC in our team? Dan James FC? Are they all Leeds fans now?
Ricky, he was the leader of Dan James FC.
Yeah, well, Ricky didn't leave, so maybe not. I don't know.
I'm sure he's not gone to support Leeds just because Dan James is there.
I did notice like a lot of like Ronaldo accounts. Oh wait, Norwich, Sergeant here. Oh, what's going on? We got to be really careful because Norwich are playing with intent clearly. Bruno.
Is that a corner to Norwich?
No. I think that's a goal kick. I think he got it off. Yeah. That shouldn't be, but that was a beautiful ball by Norwich. Literally just bypassed our whole team. And then they had like a 3-on-2, but we did well to recover. Fred got back, put in a good tackle. Yeah. I saw a lot of like Ronaldo fans all of a sudden like we're like Man United orientated now when they were like Juventus before. I'm sure it will happen with Martial and like Pogba. Someone in chat says some of them do. So some of them leave, some of them stay.
It's definitely a thing that they follow players, don't they?
Yeah.
So regardless of who they sign for, they just sort of support that player.
Yeah, no, it's becoming more of a thing in sports in general. Like, that's not just like a football thing. Like I know there's some people who will like you might only follow football, right? And so you might think, what's going on? But like that is like a thing in other sports. Like in basketball and the NBA, you get that as well. Like you just get people that follow like LeBron, for example, right? Whatever team LeBron's on, that's the team. Even in esports, you get it as well. As somebody who is in the esports scene. Big Mickey feeling there. You can see him on the bench, sitting down or trying to keep warm.
He's not got the shorts on. I'm disappointed.
Yeah, it's a bit chilly out there. You can see it's a bit chilly out there. Chris Armas on the bench next to Rangnick.
I think that's the interesting thing as well, Levin, the fact that he's starting to get his own staff in as well. It won't take him long, will it, before he susses out what these coaches are up to. And some people subscribe to the theory that's why Carrick left. You know, he was kind of jumped before he was pushed kind of thing, but...
Oh, I think I usually don't believe a lot of the things that we hear from you know, people within the club, just because I feel like a lot of the time things do get spun a bit. But I would like to believe Carrick in that, you know, he sort of made that decision, one, for himself, because it's like, you know, he was there with Mourinho, here with Oli. It's like, take a break from football, because he didn't take a break, right? It's not like he took a break, then became a coach. Oh dear, Norwich. Another case of Norwich on the break.
Man, Scott McTominay.
Stop, Kev, stop. Don't say it like that. Hey, but Scott did a good job, though. Scott did a good job. I don't think that ball would have... I think the Norwich player overran it. I can't see who that was, but...
That's a good clearance.
Yeah,
more pressure from Norwich.
Yeah, 100%.
I've got to say, nearly, what's that, 9 minutes in? I didn't expect Norwich to come out the blocks like this.
No, Norwich are playing well. Norwich are definitely playing well.
Asking a lot of questions there. United just don't seem to be able to get out their own half.
We've got to gain control of this game.
Yeah.
Nice move from Bruno. But then a poor pass. So
straight out of play.
I don't think it's a quick fix for United at the moment. I think it's going to take quite a while for Ranić to kind of get that defence organised, shaped right, and you know, get to a kind of style, because I mean it's been pretty bad the last couple of months. So
yeah, these things don't particularly, you know, happen overnight.
No.
You know, and I think it will take time. I think the big thing is just how quickly can he implement certain ideas, and whether he will compromise on certain things that he doesn't feel he can sort of implement into the team, you know? Because that was something that I feel like happened a lot with Chelsea when Tuchel came in, right? Like the way Chelsea even play now isn't like typical of what you would expect a Tuchel team to play like before, you know, he was at Chelsea. But there's still certain principles out there and everything, right? But it's not like, you know, this Chelsea team doesn't look anything like his Dortmund team, for example. So,
yeah, 10 minutes in here, and it's a scrappy game.
Yeah, it has been a bit sloppy. A couple misplaced passes. We need to be a bit sharper. We definitely need to be a bit sharper. This is an opportunity, though. Rashford plays it into Sancho. The lower the overlap.
McTominay.
Bruno? Oh?
What minute are you on there, Levin?
I'm on 10:46.
Oh, why's mine skip forward now?
Oh, dear.
Kev, you know in the second half.
Yeah, because Kev
We're winning 3-0.
Kev said McTominay there, but on my screen, I was just seeing Delo running, and I was thinking, what? McTominay? Where's McTominay?
Oh, do I bring this back now? Mine's gone up to 11 minutes 30.
Oh, yeah.
11:30, right. Kev,
think
count
yours
out the
refreshed.
exact seconds you're on at the moment. That's what you want.
Yeah. Why has someone put
Now-
that hope we
Yeah,
lose?
yeah,
What?
yeah.
11:50, bang on now.
So you're 27 seconds ahead of 11.
Yeah.
Great. Okay.
But I need to pause it for 27 seconds.
Basically, yeah.
Right,
Can
here
it
we
count
go.
to 27 seconds? No. If you pause it, I'll let you know when.
Go.
Go. Okay.
Our midfield is so crap. Match and Donny in, says Kashina. Thank you for joining the members club, by the way. Or 17 months with the members club. Daniel Luciano, appreciate that. He said, Marshall FC, become Phil Jones FC, easy switch. Big up both of you. Appreciate that very much, bro. Why are we not pressing? Yeah, like we've not been as aggressive.
start
Like
now.
our block has not been as aggressive at all.
12 minutes, 10 seconds.
Because ultimately, like I think a lot of people don't realize that you don't need to press high, but wherever you are on the pitch, you know, you want to be aggressive. You want to make sure you're pressing. And our block's not been as compact or as aggressive as it was against Crystal Palace.
Do you see any changes at the moment, Levin? Like, do you actually see anything in the style of play which we're playing differently? Because right now, the way we've been playing the first 12 minutes, it kind of feels a little bit like it was under
It's a
Oli
foul.
a couple of months ago.
No, I don't know if I'll say that. I get what you're saying, because it's not been good and it's been sloppy. It's been a bit all over the place, and that is very much, you know, how you describe us under Oli. I don't know. I don't like what I'm seeing. I don't see much. It looks very different from the Crystal Palace game. I can tell you that much, which is worrying. But
free kick in a very, very interesting position here.
I don't want to see Ronaldo. Like I don't want to see Ronaldo standing next to it.
We've got
now that I say this, he's going to score or something now. But watch. Now that I say this, Ronaldo will score.
Go on, curse it. Rashford over it. Bruno, Tellez, Ronaldo. Take your pick. It's going to be Ronaldo.
I want Tellez or Bruno. But now that I've said this, Ronaldo will score. I know it. I just know Ronaldo will score. Now that I've said this.
I think Rashford just looked at Ronaldo, and Ronaldo just told him to move away. He's gone away now.
All right.
He's been put in his place.
It looks like Tellez is going to take it. Tellez, yeah. It does look like Tellez is going to take it. Ronaldo didn't do the typical lineup. Bruno runs over. Tellez on the bar. Bit of a deflection.
Oh. Corner ball.
I'll tell you that.
I tell you what, I did not think that Tellez was going to take that then. I like that with Tellez though. He must have said to Ronaldo, I'm having this.
But it shouldn't be Ronaldo on free kicks. Look, I know Ronaldo has scored legendary free kicks in his career and for us as well. But Ronaldo shouldn't be on free kicks.
That's our first shot on target, 14 minutes into the match.
It's not great.
Corner ball.
Hashtag TUS opinion. Levin, do you think Ranić will sub on Van der Beek for Scott if he keeps doing back and square passes?
I hope so.
It'd be so refreshing, wouldn't it, to see somebody that's just forward passing.
I just don't think we've been like, I don't know, the intent's not been there. Intent has not been there. Well, it's just 15 minutes in. Can hope for some change, hope for it to be a bit better. Want to see certain players come to life, you know.
We've just not got into the rhythm of it. It will settle down. Norwich won't be able to sustain this for 90 minutes anyway. Miss kick from Ronaldo.
What's happened there? Wait, what? Wait, what has just happened there? Why has he gone down like that?
I think they're trying to get Ronaldo sent off.
Ronaldo said, I didn't touch him. I didn't touch him.
He was just trying to get round him by the looks of it.
Oh, allow it. Allow that, man. Allow it. Allow it. The brother went down like Ronaldo, like, punched him in his gut or something, bro.
And the size of the guy as well. That's pathetic. That. Absolutely
I thought Ronaldo did a mad thing or something, but
looks like he's done his shoulder, unless he's.
I hope he's all right. Like, I hope he's all right. But I don't think he's been injured because of what Ronaldo did. I think he's just landed awkwardly. They're losing the ball so much. They love losing the ball so much. Yeah, like we are just not able to just keep possession, and it's not good. I know for a fact Ralph won't be happy because ultimately, like, and I think it showed from the way Ralph spoke about the Crystal Palace game, even if he wants us to do certain things, right? But even if you're not doing those things, as long as we still have like control, right? He is somewhat satisfied, but we don't have control. You know what I mean? Like, we've just not had control in this game so far. So I know he won't be happy. Yeah, I think he's landed awkwardly on his shoulder.
That's all it is, isn't it? It's nothing Ronaldo's done there.
Hope he's all right.
Dean Smith looking worried.
Get your hashtags in, guys. Hashtag TUS opinion. We'll get it out on the screen as it's a bit scrappy so far.
It is. Not the greatest 17 minutes of football, but
oh my god! And I know this is a troll. I know the person's joking when they say this, right? But someone just said Ralph out for fuck's sake.
Oh,
yeah, they're joking.
We can't be at that stage yet.
Yeah, I know they're joking. Though. I know they're joking.
You hope they're joking.
Yeah, to be fair, I think that's true. I hope they're joking. I hope they're joking rather than no. Yeah, we are. Look, guys, we are a bit behind, but fortunately, because this is YouTube and the player, you can pause it to be in time with us if it does bother you. Some people, I'm sure, won't care, but some people will want to be in line. So you can do that. You can sync yourself with us. So the time that you see on the screen is the time that we have. So you can sync up with us if possible.
Kev's currently in the 87th minute for anyone who's following Kev's version of the watch-along.
Yeah.
Ronaldo hat-trick, 4-0 currently.
Against Brentford. You're actually a couple of days ahead.
All right, come on.
We have a Christmas dinner later on at this rate.
Rashford.
That's a foul. Just settle down, man. It's all a bit too manic at the minute. There's just no flow of passing or anything, is there? They need to just get on the ball and start to grow into the game.
Matt says, seriously, what can Ralph do in the short term to change this? I guess that's open to both of you.
He just needs more time on the training pitch. You know, I think it'll take time and it'll take games, but he needs more time on the training pitch. And ultimately as well, he probably needs to bring in some players that are accustomed to playing in the type of system that he wants. And so even though I know it's become a bit of a meme and a bit of a joke that we are just linked to every Leipzig player or ex-Leipzig player, I do think there's like an element of like, whoever we bring in, ideally, you want to bring in someone that knows how to play in the system he wants to play in. Game stopped here, it seems, just because...
I think he's going off, isn't he? From that earlier knock.
Thing is with Leipzig, though, they're incredibly well drilled. And you look at how Liverpool did their transfer business, bringing in names that weren't particularly sexy, but Liverpool bought very, very well, and they've got a very functional team that works hard under... Klopp. So maybe United are going to go down that route rather than buying the big players. It's kind of players who actually are going to press high and give it some intensity. So
players for the system. For the system. We've been down that route of signing big name players, and you look at, like you say, Jurgen Klopp there. I always remember when they signed Andy Robertson and everybody was like, what was he? A few million from Hull or something. Everybody was like, what?
Well, it's the same with Salah.
Look at the way.
Even Salah, when they took him from Roma, everyone was like, what kind of a move is that? But
nobody else wanted him, did they? Yeah, nobody else would take a punt on him. But that all comes down to coaching and getting the right players for the system.
Yeah. Grant Hanley on, Sorensen, or Grant Hanley off, and Sorensen on from that injury earlier. When it comes to that as well, you know, we've seen Ralph talk about it. You know, you don't even need to particularly be like a pressy player. You know, he can turn younger players into that. You look at all those Liverpool players you just gave examples of, you know, Firmino, Salah, these aren't players that were known for their pressing ability before they went to Liverpool, right? But like the coach, you know, Klopp's had time to work that into them, and, you know, Ralph will need time to do that as well with certain players. Bruno looking to play Rashford in over the top here. Yeah, I don't know. We just need to be a bit more direct as well. There is a bit of, you know, there is that element of just slow sort of side to side. We know we want to be playing with a higher tempo, and this hasn't been it.
But this is Norwich, bottom of the table. And we've not really created anything clear cut so far. So
one shot on target in 21 minutes. That was the Tellers free kick that took a deflection and hit the bar. Apart from that, this is...
We should have a counter for back passes and side passes, and at the end, see who's at the top of it. That would actually be good. I wouldn't be surprised if, like, you know, Ralph himself had that as well, you know. Like, that is the kind of thing that, you know, I think would be really, really good to have.
Yeah, but we've got one. It's up in the top left corner of the screen. It's up to 1.2 million back passes at the moment, so...
Hey, draw these jokes, man. Yeah, I'm sure that
Ralph has one of them clickers on the sideline, you know, like the bouncers have when you're going in a club and you click it every time somebody comes in.
Yeah,
he's just stood on the side watching the passes and clicking it.
No, Ryan in chat saying Ralph is starting to see he has a big job ahead of him. Yeah, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. I expect halftime will be an interesting conversation. Like Maguire's just played it all the way back there.
What is the point of that?
What
was the
why?
point?
There was not that much pressure on him. He could have played it to Tellez and he's just gone straight back to De Gea. Like, what? Hello?
He does himself no favours at all, that man, I tell you. What was the point of that?
Hello?
Like you said, Levin, he wasn't even under pressure there. And he's just spun round more or less on the halfway line and played it all the way back to De Gea. Oh, God. Bring on Phil Jones for Maguire.
The big thing with this formation, I'm seeing some people in chat talking about formation. The big thing with this formation is that you need your tents to sort of drop into the space in between the lines and like receive the ball and like look to play it. But at the moment, it's like there isn't much of a connection there. Like they're not able to do that pretty well.
I give Norwich some credit. I didn't think they'd start this well anyway.
Well, Norwich's block has been much more aggressive than ours. Like when Norwich don't have the ball, they've made it hard for us to sustain possession.
I just think we're lacking in control in the midfield. Like, you're not going to have the control if you've got McTominay and Fred in there at the moment. I like Fred as a player, but where he's kind of playing it right
it's
now,
this part now that it keeps breaking down. Here we go, Maguire. Back to... That's better.
Ranić doesn't look happy, to be fair.
No, I was going to say, it's just shown him on the sideline and he's... Oh.
Rashford's complaining to the ref. He thinks maybe he should have had something. Nah, I don't think they're getting anything out of that. They're not getting nothing. Yeah.
No, that's not enough to...
Yeah, it's look, I get why he's complaining. Kabak's done well there to do that because that's the kind of stuff you can get away with.
Yeah,
but it does have an impact on, you know what I mean? It does have an impact on the
attacker. It stopped him in his stride. He's done enough, but I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
This is where we need to start pressing now from the front. See, they're going long every time with that. It's almost, they're very well drilled, aren't they?
Well, that's what you want. You want them to go long, but at the same time, you want to be able to win the second ball, and like we're just not winning that second ball. Do you know what I mean? Like if you're forcing your opponent to go long, like that's not a bad thing. That's ideal, but you just have to be set up to win the second ball, and we're not doing that right now.
A bit of loss of concentration from Dalot there, just giving away a silly corner, which puts us under more pressure.
This has not been great.
To be fair to Norwich, though, they've been semi-pressing, which has kind of put us, we're trying to play through the lines, and to be honest, their position's actually been all right. So,
well, what we've seen, and this is something that we saw during Carrick a lot, is during the Carrick era, right? What we saw a lot was like the centre-backs bypassing the midfield and just trying to play a ball into like that first line. And that's why we've got them balls into like Rashford and Ronaldo, and then we've sort of just got pushed off a bit, but it's just been a lot of that. Like, you see there, Fred can't really play a ball forward. McTominay can't really play a ball forward.
There we go, McTominay.
So, you know what I mean? Like this is the problem. Like,
yeah, but there's no options for the pass on sometimes. It seems like positionally we're out. And also the press. Where's the press been? We haven't done it.
You've just not been aggressive enough. And you're right. You need to be in positions. You need to have players in positions to receive the ball. And that's not been good enough either. Of course, Fred and McTominay haven't been great at finding those passes, and I'm sure everybody will be calling that out. But we need to do better to receive. Because the only times we can receive the ball is when Ronaldo does that. You see how Ronaldo had to drop all the way from that first line, all the way down into deep midfield? Like, that's the only way for him to receive the ball right now. Like, that's just not good. Like,
but you notice how De Gea is also looking frustrated when he has had it. Like, he's just screaming at the players to push forward, almost like, "Well, get out." So it's very slow.
It's very disappointing, this so far. I can't imagine this was part of the game plan anyway,
Definitely
let's go out first 20 minutes, keep it tight, no mistakes. It's Norwich, for Christ's sake. The bottom of the league for a reason.
Just been watching Bruno for a bit, and he's not really moving around. He's kind of just jogging around a little bit, waiting for the ball to come to him, not really moving into space. So
Norwich's block is doing really good. Look how they've just forced us back here. Like, Norwich has done a good job here. Well, that's not good.
Has to go long again.
We shouldn't be getting outclassed by Norwich.
No.
I think they just look at right now. I think United are looking a little bit lethargic. I don't know whether maybe the training intensity's gone up and actually they're feeling it a bit, because if you're being trained to press, it's also going to take a lot of energy out of the team. But I don't know. It just feels
and
like
at the same time, yeah, there's a reason that he made 11 changes through the week. He would think, if anything, I understand the training side of it, but.
Well, you'd think after resting them, they would come out of the guns, But
Exactly,
this to me feels like a game where they have played midweek. So.
Yeah.
I think someone in the chat made a great point in there, right? Norwich controlling the game. Even when Norwich don't have the ball, they still have control because they're being so aggressive and they're just forcing us back. We're not able to play any sort of progressive passes into key players through the lines. Like, they're doing what we want to be doing. Like,
100%. Every time we're back in our own half, Norwich are pressing forward and then we're having to panic and then pass back out again. That's not working for us right now. United need to be doing the same to Norwich, but for whatever reason, they're not doing the same as what they did against Palace. So,
I think that Harry Maguire pass back is probably the highlight of the first half.
Sums up everything perfectly, right?
Yeah. That sums up everything through pass managers under Van Gaal, Mourinho. I don't know whether that's a mindset thing or I just don't know what's going through his head. Like I said, he wasn't under pressure to swivel, turn, and pass that 40, 50 yards back to De Gea there. I don't understand what that gains.
The team shape is like all over the place as well. Like what I just saw there, I did not like at all. You just had Delo coming back to be in line with the centre backs when ideally you want him a bit higher up in position to receive. Then you also had Sancho, who's the right number 10, coming very central. That you just had nobody on the right side of the pitch, and so Norwich just split the pitch in half, and then you just have no options, right? Like, this is really bad. Like, this is not good.
That's just shown a kind of heat map. Then it said average positions, and the Manchester United more or less team is around the halfway line and just short of that, and that's the average positions. Well, I've just 30 minutes of football.
I've just looked at the heat map, and basically it's just a block of ice in the middle of the pitch. So it's just frozen. Nothing's happening. I think now's probably the best.
Oh, God.
I'd personally get Van der Beek on right now. There's no harm in throwing in something in at halftime.
He's a big enough personality, isn't it, to change it if things aren't going right.
But the thing
is,
is,
you'd like to think he is.
Ranić will pick up on this, and things like, Maguire's back pass, he will clearly be looking at that after the game. And maybe when Varane's back, he might be looking at Bailly.
The low shot saved by Tim Krul. Wasn't really going to test the keeper there, but
not much.
At least we have a shot on target. Sancho did well against his man, gets it to the low in space. If only Ronaldo was able to get
You're looking for Ronaldo, to hopefully get a touch on that, really. That's a cross-come shot, really, wasn't it? Fernandes looked very, very frustrated. We're just not closing him down again, anywhere near him.
Norwich are also just doing a really good job of stretching the pitch.
Look at that, just playing.
The pitch is so wide, and we're just leaving gaps. Like, we're leaving so much gaps for them to exploit.
This is where we need to exploit him now. Counter-attack. Here we go, 2 men over. Bit more positive.
That's a bad switch.
Final ball again.
That's a bad switch.
Was that Bruno, that?
Yeah. It's interesting. I read a piece. Like, this is like some real nerdy stuff, so I'm sure a lot of people won't care about this. But I did read a piece by John Muller like a couple months ago where he talked about like switches of play like that and like how those types of switches of play just aren't as effective in football anymore. Like, that angle and just that length is just really hard. And the cycle begins. What people saying in chat? I feel like I've neglected chat for a bit here.
Yeah, you have.
Got some super chat. You got some super chats. Darren said, "I thought Ralph would have chosen his own captain. Maguire not good enough for captain." Frederick says, "Mark always blames Maguire and Lindelof to suck in the low and tellers, but now even under Ralph, they tuck in. Can't it be tactics? Must be centre back's fault. Must it? Oh, wait, that was another super chat here that I missed." Asset says, "United need a number 10 position to control the game. The transition keeps breaking as they can't move in from the wings or move forward from the midfield." Yeah, like our shape's not actually been that narrow in possession. Like in possession, we're finding that like Bruno and Sancho, mainly Sancho on the right, is like the widest person out right. Whereas in that Crystal Palace game, like Sancho was a bit more tucked in and like the low would push on forward and like overlap for him. And you can see they put on a touch map here, right? Look at the touch map they put up on the screen for Bruno. Look at how many of his touches are like out wide left. You know what I mean? Whereas ideally you want them a bit more central to create in and around those areas. But
Testament to Norwich here. Their game plan's working a lot better than ours. I can't even suss out what ours is at the minute. This is dreadful. Fernandez is just... It looks like one of them games where he's going to get sent off. He's that frustrated, and everything he's trying, nothing is coming off for him.
It's so cool to have Jorty on for watch along. Gives me major flashbacks to watching Mark and Jorty doing Red Rumours all those years ago. Jorty, feel good to be back. The people miss you, Jorty, man. You got to start doing some more shows.
It's just the trouble is when you're trying to produce, trying to do everything at once. My head just can't. I
hear you.
Red Rumours, they were the days, eh?
No, they weren't the days. I don't want to go back there again. I cringe so hard when I look at something. I'm like, I must have been really ill, like seriously on some meds back then. So, I mean, I actually was on meds, so clearly they were affecting me. But
yeah, well, are you still on the meds now? Or?
Yeah, they're fantastic. I'll get you some. My dealer's great.
Yeah. Talking about the pharmacy, guys. GP, not an actual dealer.
Don't know what you were talking about.
Anyway, Rashford. Oh. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about.
Breaks down again.
Somebody called me crazy for this on stream the other day, but I mean it. There's something about Rashford. Rashford used to be so good at like just taking people on and just beating them with pure pace. And like I don't know what it is. Since he's been injured, like it's just not the same, innit? And like I see it time and time again where he just can't. Like I'm sure a lot of you remember it. You know, remember a couple years ago. You know, Rashford was a bit younger, and it was just like the explosiveness was mad, and he could just beat anybody with the ball at feet, purely with just pace. Not even like any sort of elegant dribbling or anything, but just purely with pace. And it doesn't seem to have that anymore. I don't know. I feel like the injury still sort of affects him a bit.
Sometimes you need a player who kind of, okay, they might not have the final ball, but with the explosive pace and just the directness of the play, that can open everything out for you because it pushes everyone up further up the pitch. It feels almost like Rashford's been slowed down to a degree, not necessarily because of his injury, but maybe because of coaching, because they're expecting more from him in his play. But Rashford was much better when he was on the edge.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ronaldo played in here.
come on.
Go on.
Just sent that Norwich defender. Oh, Ronaldo. Tim Krul saves it. Sancho does want to beat his man. He squares it, but nobody able to get onto it.
Good
So
chance,
close.
that.
Fred does well. McTominay plays a good ball into Ronaldo, and Ronaldo absolutely sends that Norwich defender. And that was Kabak. Just sent him sliding.
Sent him into next week there.
Literally. But Krul saves it. Again, you see where Delo's picking up the ball here?
Yeah.
Whereas, like, ideally, what you see where Tellez is on the other side. Like, ideally, you want him a bit higher and wider. I don't know where that ball came from. That was a ball from nowhere, but clearly the players weren't expecting it either.
No. Got to anticipate that.
I would expect us to get more chances as the game goes on because Norwich are just going to get tired.
Norwich
They are running a lot. Well, you reckon they'll keep it up?
No, I think eventually they will tire because they've been quite aggressive. You can see that their players are working quite hard. At the same time, it's like,
and this is a cup final. It's Manchester United at home, and it's
yeah, but like that's like the Villa. That's what we did against Villarreal, right? Where Villarreal were hella aggressive, and we just sort of waited, and eventually they sort of gassed out in the second half. But we shouldn't be doing that, right? Like that's not what.
Another half chance. Rashford with a header over the bar, was it? Showing the Ronaldo chance.
I'm just loving how Kabak's literally just slid all the way back into Europe.
Oh, he's...
Brad Lewis says this is maybe a controversial take, but I would sell Rashford if Barcelona would really pay 70 mil. Brad, I don't think you know. I don't know if you know. Sorry, Barca don't have money. They do not have 70 mil to spend.
No.
Alex says, feels like we are surprised / annoyed that Norwich aren't folding under the press like Crystal Palace did, and it's draining the belief out of the team. No confidence. Well, Norwich here on the attack. Oh dear.
Good bit of defending at the end.
Yeah, we stopped that one.
See, give it away straight away. Pressure back on. Giving it away in stupid areas.
Oh,
Man.
that was so he just. Oh god.
Straight back to me.
De Gea having to make a save. I think it was going out wide anyway, but just to be safe.
Bit of
Norwich.
a Hollywood save, that one.
Yeah, it was.
A
But
dive for the cameras.
That's
He looked
exactly
like
what
he's
that
diving in
was.
slow motion.
we're lucky Timo Pukki is not just that bit more aware, because if he was and he played in Sargent, we would be 1-0 down right now. Oh god, we gotta be better, guys. We gotta be much better.
Much better.
John says, love Oli, but he did not improve players. These players can't dominate relegation level teams. That's Man United DNA under Oli has cost us.
Good bit of play from Delo there.
Great
Straight
balling.
left. Yeah.
McTominay with a good ball out to Sancho wide. Underlap from Tellez. Sancho kept the ball for a bit too long. Couldn't really find anybody. Yeah.
Breaking down. Whoa, what's McTominay trying there, man?
You could see what he wanted to do. You could see he
Yeah.
wanted to sort of play a ball in, but there was no sort of options. And then
He's not Zidane. He's not Ronaldinho. He's Scott McTominay. Stay in your lane.
Which lane is that?
you could see like
The slow lane. The inside lane.
Depends which country you're in, Kev.
Well, yeah.
it's just really frustrating. Like I'm seeing a lot of players when we're in position. Like there's a lot of players who are just not putting themselves in positions to receive the ball, but then like actively calling for the ball.
15,000 of you watching, guys. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Goldbridge will be back with a drunken match reaction after this for this incredible 0-0. That's if it stays 0-0.
Only if we get 1 million likes on this video.
Don't. I remember I did that once on the show. Yeah, I remember one of the shows I did where I just kept saying like, guys, if you get this amount of likes, you know, Goldbridge will come back. And like they kept hitting the goal. And people just kept getting mad at me in the comments like, Levin, stop it. Why do you keep lying to us? It's like, if you didn't see it was a joke in it, then that's your problem. That's your problem, not mine, in it. Like, if you couldn't see it was a joke.
Yeah, but today's not a joke. Literally, if you get us 10,000 likes, Goldbridge will be half cut on the match reaction.
That is true. That is true. That is true.
Oh,
41 minutes in, and it's not been good. Well, 42 minutes in, sorry. McTominay's lane is the hard shoulder, says Eshan. Oh, flipping now.
I can't. This is 45 minutes of my life that I am not getting back. Oh, here we go. So it's a bit more positive. Ronaldo.
It's not very nice on Levin, Kev.
Stop twisting it round you.
Well, if we're talking about twisting, Kev,
Delo is our best offensive and defensive player. He always looks forward. And I think you can see that with some of the players where, like, when the ball just got stuck there with Sancho, you could see he was actively trying to look for the forward pass because he had the simple pass to make to Fred or McTominay, and he didn't make it because he kept looking for someone to play in ahead of him, right? So you can see with certain players where they are actively looking to find that forward pass, but it isn't there for them. Do you know what I mean? And ultimately, you know, I love Ralph's philosophy in that you know, no sideways passes, no backwards passes, forward passes. But to make forward passes, people have to be in position to receive them. And that's one of the biggest problems we've had this half. Like, players just aren't in position to receive forward passes. And when players are in position, certain players can't find them, and so they just pass backwards or sideways. It's really just not been good enough in possession, to be honest.
Basically crab football.
It's absolute dog shit. That's all I can say. And this is it's not even like a patched up team. You know, there's big names out there. And again, it's Norwich.
Yeah, certain players are not doing themselves any favours at all.
Who would you take off at halftime, guys?
A lot of them. Take them all off.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Heating on.
That's what I want from Rashford, beating his man. Oh my God.
What is that?
Doctor.
What the hell was that?
Dr. Marcus, man, please, bro.
Oh, God.
Rashford.
There you go. You got another chance.
You know, we got a corner. That's a corner. I'll take 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 a corner.
Right. It's time now for Harry Maguire. This is your moment, mate. This is your moment to get his massive head on this ball now and just head it into the net.
With Celine Dion playing in the background.
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh, he didn't even play it in the air.
Oh, yeah, we've been doing the short corner stuff, right?
Oh, come on, man. We sent the big man up from the back here. What a waste. Oh. Keep the pressure on.
Ooh. A decent cross there from Sancho and a save being forced by Krul.
I suspect that was one for the cameras as well. He must have seen De Gea's save before and thought, I'm not being outdone here.
Maguire actually almost scoring a header. Yeah, Krul had to make the save. That was going in. That was definitely going in. Krul had to make that save. And
there's some mad spin on that ball there.
Yeah, another corner then for us.
Oh, do you know what? It wasn't one for the cameras. Bit unfair to him there.
Krul's made a couple decent saves. We've not been great, but he has had to make a couple decent saves.
What's the ref moaning about there?
Yeah, the Norwich fans keep complaining about what Bruno's doing. What's Bruno doing? Why are they complaining?
Is it because the ball's not on the D or something?
Yeah, like, is he like putting it a bit closer? Like, what? They keep pointing at him. Yeah, Norwich win that. Tellers nods it back in, but straight into Krul's hands. Yeah.
That just sums up the first half, that, mate. That sums up the first half.
I think that's half time. It's got to be.
That is not good.
Misery. Yeah.
That is not good. Guys, let us know what you think of that in the chat. There's a lot of super chats coming in. Get your super chats in. Let us know what you think of that first half. I think we all know what that's been. That's been awful. Can we all agree that Rashford is just Welbeck, but with PR? Also, Draughty, can you call my mate Wendy a prat?
Wendy, you're a prat.
Thank you very much, Draughty. the one and only.
If you'd also like to have anyone else called a prat, I'm happy to do it. So that's fine.
Yeah, we're here. We're here all night. We're here all night. Yeah, guys, I'll be real, man. That's just just not been great, man. I'll be completely real. That's just not been good enough.
Shambolic, that.
Someone said I missed their super chat. So I apologize if I did miss your super chat. I do apologize. I always do feel bad when that happens. I get people that will message me after show sometimes like, yo, let me miss my super chat. And I always feel really bad. So sorry about that. I'll try my best. Brownland says, honestly, Rashford should just stick to helping kill. Oh, God, we're moving into that territory now.
You can't, I know, you can't go down that route.
We're moving,
Two different separate things, but I do understand that there's these people that are like, Rashford is not in form, and that's the reason before the match I said I'm surprised that Greenwood wasn't in this team today, because I thought he proved himself. There wasn't many players midweek that did themselves many favours, but for me, Greenwood was head and shoulders above everybody else midweek, which is the reason I thought, well, if we're going off merit and current form, Greenwood should have been in that team today. Now he's not, and Marcus Rashford's done himself no favours. The same way that Jesse Lingard midweek had a great opportunity, I think, and he certainly didn't take it. I don't think at the end of the day as well, there's so many players there that have not performed. You know, it's easy to just pick on Rashford, but Bruno Fernandes he's trying to make things happen, but it's clearly not happening. And it is a system thing. Can Norwich keep this up for 90 minutes? I don't think they will, but I'm just hoping that, really.
Yeah, I don't think anybody can be happy with their performance. We got plenty of super chats here. Yakov says, hoping for a Christmas miracle where a manager just realizes McFred needs to be dropped. Donny comes in and then a CDM in January. Mike saying, wow, great passes by Scott, back pass City by Rashford. What the hell? We got Finesse King who says, really poor from Rashford and Bruno. Players need to trust the system. I expect a reaction in the second half after Ralph curses them off. We got another one in here from Emily Derry who says, to be a fly on the wall in that United dressing room. Yeah, I'd love to be in there and hear what Ralph is saying.
What we need, Levin, what we need is, we've all seen that video that went viral of Rangnick, was it? When he turns the lights off in the changing rooms. We need that today. The lights flicker back on. Phil Jones is sat there crying or whatever, and, you know, he just needs to gather the troops.
Why is Phil Jones the one crying?
Just picking up Phil Jones. Don't know, it sounded funny at the time.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Yeah, we need Pep to come into the change room. Everybody shut up, sit down, don't talk, shut up. Daryl's saying that performance looked more like the subs against Young Boys. Where are the forward passes and the pressing? We got Panav, who's been a member for 14 months. Big up Panav for being a member of the channel for 14 months. Vinay says Rashford has worked hard, but his end product hasn't been good enough today. He just hasn't been playing that final ball properly. I agree. I think the final ball's been very much lacking. And Samuel says, do you reckon there is a blatant disregard to Ralph refusing to pass forward, or they are just used to Ollie ball still? Maguire looks okay at least. And Darren says, players in should be Bailly, Greenwood, and Van der Beek. Look, my thoughts on it, I think there's just clearly a lack of understanding from players. Look, the Crystal Palace performance was good, but I think it's clear you could see now in terms of the difference between Crystal Palace versus Norwich is that Crystal Palace were quite passive in their block, and so they allowed us to do a lot more. And it was a lot easier for us to receive the ball and play forward passes and play with a bit of a higher tempo. Norwich are showing us what the better teams will do. And this is why there were the questions, even after the Crystal Palace performance, about what will we do against better teams in the Prem. Norwich are being much more aggressive in their block. They are making it much harder to play through them. And we're seeing where the problem solving right now from the players isn't there. And ultimately, that's going to be something that has to improve under Ralph. I know Ralph won't be happy with that performance. None of us are happy with that performance. It's got to be much better in that second half.
Would you expect changes, Levin?
I don't know if he'll hook anybody. I think hooking somebody at halftime would be a big statement, and I don't think he's made any sort of he's not made any of those kind of statements so far, and so I'm not gonna bet on him to hook anybody. But it wouldn't be undeserved if he did, right? Like if he did, I wouldn't have any complaints, because that isn't what we want to see at all.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Greenwood come on, to be honest, at half-time. Even straight swap for Rashford, possibly, but...
if you could make 3 changes, though, Kev, right now, okay, forget about whether it's right or not, what 3 would you make? Same with you, Lev. Like, who would you change? Because me, personally, Van der Beek would be straight on. Greenwood would be straight on. And to be fair, he'd never do it, but I'd hook off Maguire and put on Bailly. Because I just think Bailly would just be, he will play out from the back. So... what you guys think?
I wouldn't. I don't know if I wouldn't sub on a centre back, but I definitely would bring on Mason and Donny if I could make the changes. I just don't like what I've seen so far from Rashford and from that midfield pivot. Even Bruno, people have been mentioning Bruno in the super chats and in the chat. Apparently, I saw here Bruno had lost lost possession 17 times in the first half, and has a 65% pass accuracy. And look, pass accuracy is not a stat that is very telling of, you know, who's a good passer and who's not a good passer, right? But having 65% pass accuracy in the first half of this game is just very poor. Very, very poor. We got some more super chats in here. Kev, Brad Lewis coming back saying we need some serious changes. McTominay and Rashford off, and Bruno I would sub off today. CM says it's disgraceful McKenna and Phelan are sat on that bench. It's clear Ralph doesn't want them there and they are just getting in the way. Iron Mike says, to the guy who said Bailly, Green and Van der Beek on, yes, I agree. They are clear of Maguire, Rashford and McTominay.
I just think you need a better spine at the moment. It's not like Maguire's playing badly, but Bailly's just a bit more attacking and with his tackling as well, because he's so aggressive, it just means from the back you can play a lot more aggressive football. We're very, very sedate right now. So, and, you know, yes, some people are saying, but it's only Norwich. I get it's only Norwich, but look at the energy. We've got none right now. So.
I just think it's clear that there are a lot of things sort of ingrained in these players. I think I'm seeing people on Twitter saying Jamie Redknapp's talking on the broadcast about bad habits, and I think that's perfect, right? Like, there are clearly a lot of bad habits still in this squad, and those are things that will take time to iron out. Because
that comes with time, doesn't it? Yeah,
that does come with time. But, you know, in terms of immediate fixes, you know, Rangnick needs to do something. If that is going to be changing up the lineup a bit and sort of taking players out who can't seem to adjust and adapt, I think he has to do that, because that first half is not it.
It's never going to be a short-term fix, and it's the reason when he took the job, I'd said, not be careful what you wish for. If you wanted Solskjaer gone, fair enough, he has gone. But now we've got a manager in, and these things do not happen overnight. A lot of United fans are like that. Very, just the way they carry on with everything now. It will not happen overnight. And I think Tuchel at Chelsea, a lot of United fans have looked at that and probably thought the impact that he made. Now, Rangnick could make that at Manchester United, but again, it is done over time. We've seen glimpses of this system and the style of football it wants to play, but take that first half there and you look at that and you can tell, we can tell just from watching it, that some of them players are not singing from the same hymn sheet. It's all right telling and giving instructions out on what to do, but until you're fully on board with it, you're going to get that, aren't you? And it's disappointing to see, because we can say it's Norwich, the bottom of the league and all that, but at the same time, they're fighting for their lives. They're playing Manchester United. It's a massive game for them, but too many players there. There's too many simple things that are not coming off. Bruno Fernandes, well off the pace. Rashford, final thought process again, absolutely abysmal. And it's just not working for any of them, is it?
Yeah.
I can't think of any player there that I would say, well done, mate. Good for, decent first half, that. And Harry Maguire sums it up by playing a pass back from the halfway line when we're looking to get at Norwich. Let's get at them. We've got an opportunity here, a through ball, anything, play it out wide, knocks it straight back to David De Gea. And that just sums up United in that first half for me in a nutshell. Yeah,
100%. Tyre says this is why we need a Ten Hag. We're organised in defence, but we haven't been able to break down teams for 5 years. We need a clear plan in possession. I think the important thing, Ty, is that, you can't implement, 17,000 patterns of play within a week. I think there definitely needs to be questions asked about the setup, because it's clear that the players, don't have an understanding of what to do against such an aggressive block, which we knew was going to be an issue. So I'm not saying, we shouldn't question Rangnick whatsoever, but I don't think saying another manager is going to really help any problems, right? It's been a week. You're not going to be able to implement a crazy sort of attacking structure in a week.
Exactly. And Ten Hag would have the exact same problem at Manchester United if he come in now. It's exactly the same thing. That is absolutely crazy to be talking about getting another manager in now. What's he been in charge? 3 games, man. We've got to give the process time. And listen, we could go out in this second half and totally turn it right. I would love, the least they can do is come out and give a reaction to that first half. The absolute least they can do. And if they do, and they go out and we win it, then we write off that first half and we look at it and we go, well, I don't think it was part of the game plan because it is Norwich. This is not Manchester City away, Liverpool, Chelsea, where you go and you think we weather the storm for the first 20 minutes and we grow into the game and that. This is Norwich. So it is about getting 3 points today, because you look at our next 12 fixtures over the Christmas period going into New Year, every single one of them games is actually winnable. I know it sounds stupid saying winnable, but that you look at the types of teams that we're playing, nobody in the top 4, you know, we could take a serious amount of points, but we're not gonna if we're playing football like that, because that was dreadful.
Yeah, Chris Rodriguez, who's been a member for 4 months, said Rashford needs to learn to look up and look at options. He just needs to look down and try. He just looks down and tries to fly through people. Mason and Donny need to come on ASAP. PT saying Levin can start a fire using 2 ice cubes. I don't think. Thanks. Thanks, I guess.
There's a compliment in there somewhere.
Yeah, I think that was a compliment. Alpha Gaming says score predictions now. Guys, what are your score predictions now at half time? Have you wilted a bit? Have you changed your minds? Is the question.
7-0.
Did I really say 4-0 before the match?
Yeah, no, you got to stick with 4-0. You got to stick with 4-0.
That's me with me red tinted specs on. I always do it. I need to start using my head to let my head overrule my heart and to get far too buying into this. 4-0. I'm still sticking with it. 4-0 will win.
Yeah, Dipanshu says even Chelsea lost 5-2 to West Brom early on in rank in Tuchel's tenure. Believe in Ralph is what you said. Some more super chats. So there's so many super chats, but I think it's understandable. There's so many people sort of giving in their thoughts because that first half just wasn't it. Martin says, is Rashford's problem Ronaldo? Is it making his performances worse with his head down and totally uninterested? I just don't get it. Thoughts? I wouldn't agree with that. I don't think we can start looking at other players and sort of going, is it their problem? Is it their problem? I think I understand why people are going to start looking for answers, because I think it is confusing for a lot of people, right? What's happened to Rashford? Why is he playing so bad? He's back from injury now, so what's going on? But I don't think we should be looking at Ronaldo for those answers. I think there's plenty of things we can look at in regards to why Rashford hasn't been good that have nothing to do with Ronaldo.
I'll tell you something there, Levin. He sent the players out early anyway. Got out there warming up already, so it's just cut to an advert, but he has sent them out. So that you would like to think Rangnick's past history that something has been said there at halftime, because he will not be happy with that. And that's too many players. You can get away with carrying 1 or 2 players in a team, but when half of your team is not performing, bad passes, it's the final thought process, isn't it? Every time, the key passes, and nothing is happening there. You look at that possession loss there. Fernandes, Rashford, 36 and 35%. Tellez, Ronaldo even, 28%. It's just stupid passes every time.
You guys let me know when you've kicked off again, because again, Kev might already be on Brentford and Levin might be back in his first half. So
yeah, I am at 10 minutes into the game. So
can I just check, Troy? It is Christmas Day now, isn't it?
Yeah, 2022.
There we go. We're up to speed. So mine's kicked off. Yeah.
I'm at. Wait, the time's about to come back up. I think Rainbow Lasers 45-13, 14-15, 16,
45,
17,
14.
18,
so I'm about
19, 20, 21.
So I'm 1 second behind you.
20. Okay, cool.
That's great. I'm ahead of both of you.
All right, guys, we got to go out there and do better in the second half. Yakov coming in again saying, I guess this is what happens when trying to implement a new style mid-season of players who have known a lethargic crab ball for 3 years. So fitness levels is clearly a big factor. Also, believe in Ralph, it's going to be 3-0, says United Voice.
And that has been the thing, Levin. There is no doubt in my mind that these players have been sent out in a lot of games. And under the old regime, it has been there's been these stories on the whiteboard in the changing room. It's been, go out, express yourself. You play for Manchester United. Apparently Manchester United was underlined, you know, believe in yourself and all this, which is great. It'll get you to a certain point, but there has to be a game plan. And now that they're being asked they're being asked to basically play a different system. It's going to be very hard to implement, but the Premier League footballers, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely expect. But you expect better of players of higher quality.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just fuming because I thought, you know, we were going to breeze through this game. I was going to be able to just sit here and run jokes with you the whole time. Like, I wanted to let the jokes fly today. You know what I mean?
Jokes on us, Levin. The joke's on us, mate.
Oh, my goodness.
People like me who predicted 4-0. Oh.
Who was that? That wasn't even Pookie, but one of the Norwich players just went on a decent run there and they almost scored.
And Harry Maguire.
Yeah. It just doesn't it? Look at Maguire. It just feels so easy for defenders to beat Maguire one-on-one, man.
Look at that, just a drop of the shoulder. And then he tried. Oh, God.
What's this obsession with 2 goalkeepers on the bench as well? And there's not a lot of options. So the bench right now is Heaton, Henderson, Bailly, Jones, Shaw, Lingard, Van der Beek, Elanga, Greenwood. You're not going to bring on Heaton or Henderson. Jones probably isn't going to play. Shaw's not going to change the game. Lingard wasn't very good midweek, but we know he can do something. Van der Beek would bring him on. Elanga, that's a bit of a throw of the dice. So really you're stuck with Greenwood, Van der Beek and Lingard if you want to change anything in the attack. There's nothing else there.
I don't understand that. 2 keepers. I'm saying that against the likes of Man City and Liverpool, we could have done with playing 2 keepers in there.
Probably wouldn't have helped. See, now I like that between Delo and Sancho, but the pass needs to be better from Delo.
Yeah, it's just
the pass needs to be better, but if we can have some more combinations that, more combinations like that and attempts like that, and we can maybe create something significant.
I know this is completely minor, but Ranić in a Man United red hat is
pure Tony Pulis, that, isn't it? That is Tony Pulis.
I'm just seeing Stoke. That's all I'm seeing right now.
He wears the club shop. He wears the club shop.
Friedman said it's true what they are saying. 3 years of playing such bad football, the players revert to type Ollie football. It's like their default setting. Ralph has a lot to do. Yeah, it's true. Because ultimately, another thing that people underrate massively, right, with like, you know, footballers, especially at the highest level, the Man Cities, the Liverpools, part of what makes them really good teams is their problem-solving ability in-game, right? Like, being able to make adjustments in the game as players on the pitch is really important when you are reacting to something. And with how aggressive Norwich have been in that first half, it's clear the players didn't know what to do, right? Like, it's just clear. And when players don't know what to do, you're right. They go back to their default setting, which is Ollie ball, which is why that first half looked like a half from, you know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tenure. So you're completely right on that. You're completely right on that.
Ah, Bruno, lad. That's just pure frustration, that.
He's having a bit of a stinker. I know he's
having
trying,
an absolute nightmare. I don't like him when he's like this. I don't mind when he's up for the fight, but like I said earlier, he's in the territory here of doing something really ridiculous.
McTominay plays a good pass. He passes like that is what I need.
What minute are you on there, 11:50?
Rashford.
Evan's on the 9th minute, I think.
Dr. Marcus. I'm on 50, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34.
You're about 4 seconds ahead of me now.
Oh, okay. How's that happened?
I don't have a clue.
Yeah, I'm a bit ahead of Kev, guys. Hopefully we can get synced up. Are you still a couple seconds ahead of me, or did you...
50, 47, 48, 49,
oh,
50,
yeah,
50.
You're like 8 seconds behind me. Yeah, I don't know how I don't know how you're gradually getting further and further
I
behind me.
was going to say.
Benjamin Button, he's going backwards in time.
Yeah, I don't know how Kev's getting further and further behind. Refresh so that you're ahead of me again, then like slow down to catch up. You know?
Or maybe Levin, you pause for a few
I
seconds.
can't pause
can you
on
not?
Now TV. No, Now TV you can't pause. Yeah, it's a bummer.
I forgot about
I would pause, but yeah, I can't pause on Now TV sadly. You got a corner, it seems. Please, something from this. Decent delivery can. Ooh, nah. Tried to go back post, but Cruel dealt with it.
Sorry, what minute you on there now? 52?
51, 57, 58, 59, 52 minutes. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds.
Now I'm on 52 minutes and 35 seconds.
Yep, so how far ahead is he, Jordy? I'm not doing the maths because maths on broadcast isn't there.
Start counting in a minute.
52:45.
So you're 25 seconds ahead.
Right.
What was that?
Wait.
What was that from McTominay?
You're 29 seconds ahead because the
ready?
time is 4 seconds ahead of Levin. So.
Can you give me a shout? Do you want me to pause it now?
Right, pause now. I think we should have a countdown.
Did it?
Whoa, what's McTominay done there? It looks like he elbowed him in the face.
Damn.
Hopefully. I don't think it was intentional, but yeah, that looked painful. That looked painful indeed.
This is the type of game we can reminisce about Pizzagate. You start your timer again now, Kev.
Yeah, 53:07, 53:08, 9, 10. Is that about right, Levin?
Count.
53:17.
You're about 3 seconds behind me.
We'll take it.
Yeah, we'll deal with that.
As good as it's going to get in it. Yeah, I expect to see some changes soon at some point, guys.
Gotta be.
I really do. Sean says United's play actually causes time to run backwards. Yeah, that's what's happening here with Kev. So slow. The tempo is just so slow. Rashford, is he off? He looked offside. Rashford?
Oh.
Just getting caught by Kabak. It was offside though, right?
Yeah, he's offside.
Yeah. Kabak's just caught him there though. Absolute burners on him.
Let's see if Goldbridge has tweeted anything recently.
Oh, Goldbridge. I wonder what he's thinking.
So I'm going to get a couple up on screen.
Remember, guys, we will have Goldbridge doing a match reaction after the game, and he said himself that he is drunk, so should be a good one.
I can't promise he'll be coherent, but it will be funny. So,
Yeah,
What kind of a drunk would Goldbridge be, do you reckon?
So the
you
last
might know.
time, yeah, no, trust me, I've had him ring me up many times when he's completely out of his face, and he doesn't make any sense at all. It's brilliant.
I think there was a time, I'm sure people in chat will remember, there was a time, yeah, like last week or something, maybe a couple weeks ago now, where like you could tell he was drunk and he was tweeting, and his tweets just didn't make any sense, like, and everybody was like, yeah, he must be drunk, so...
Well, there was a time where he was completely half cut and he decided to live stream and somehow ended up in a bus stop. I can't remember if he fell into a bush as well. So,
match reaction should be good, guys. Match reaction should be good. I'm looking forward to it.
oh yeah, that was the one. He rang me. No, I rang him up and said, "Yeah, you need to stop streaming, mate." He was
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Like you know when you got to sort of just tell them like, yeah, this isn't gonna end well, bro. Just you should probably end stream.
yeah, just cut it there.
Another silly foul from Bruno Fernandes.
Goldbridge, Maguire sent back to Leicester by some Norwich player I've never heard of.
It's true that it was so easy for him to get beat. Pookie
He did. He just dropped his
takes a
shoulder.
shot.
And...
Ooh. Shot there from Pookie. The hair tested.
Oh, he's tweeting
They're
more
good.
now. Half an
Too
hour
easy.
effort against Palace. Bounce then. They did 10 games for Ollie.
That was way too easy. Pookie got a shot on the hair, does well to save it.
Oh, God, I'm well behind, aren't I?
Have you gone further back in time again?
I'd say about 3 or 4 seconds. 56-16, I'm on there.
56-16?
Yeah.
You've gone like 30 seconds behind. Like 40.
Behind.
Yeah.
56-25 now.
I'm 57.
Are you?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Wait.
Have we gone behind? What is going on?
How is it like getting? Is your stream like pausing every couple seconds or something, and like you're not noticing? How is it so? Like, how are you going back in time?
I'm a time traveler.
Kev's playing the game at half speed and doesn't notice.
Yeah, he is. He's playing it on 0.75 speed, and it's just. Okay.
No wonder we're playing so slowly. That's how I'm like, too slow, man. We need to quicken up.
That's actually jokes.
I'm on 58.02 now.
Okay, but you're ahead of me again. But
Oh no!
But any attempt, I don't know what's gonna happen. You're just gonna end up being behind me if we sync up.
We'll just check in with you every minute, Kev, see if you're alright.
Pookie again, just no control. I don't know. I'm not happy about this, man. I think the players need to take a bit of responsibility, accountability here, and you know,
that's not like they're being asked to do something that they're not familiar with or whatever. It's a game of football, for Christ's sake, and the absolute fundamentals, the easy, simple things of football are not being done today, and not by 1 or 2 players. We're talking. There's probably 8 or 9 of them out there that are just been abysmal.
Flipping no. They almost that was on the crossbar there, man. We gotta be careful. We are not, and the thing is, I think as well is like you look at the second half of Crystal Palace, right? The half that wasn't as good. Even in that half, the intensity wasn't there, but we still had an element of control in that game, right? Like Crystal Palace couldn't really do much still, even then. But in this, is like there's no control. It's not even like the intensity's not there. There's just no control. It's really, really poor.
Crystal Palace, we had huge amounts of that game where we were in total control, cruise control. This is
3 back-to-back corners.
We haven't hit the cruise control button yet. This is Harry Maguire trying to be the captain, the big man. What's he moaning about?
Don't give away another corner, boys, please.
That's not on the day.
Oh my god.
That's
Corner number 4.
4 corners, guys. Come on. Oh. This is just... They've had 5 corners in the second half. Wow. De Gea comes and collects it. We're on the break now as well. Oh, Ronaldo. Oh, okay, no, Sancho. The camera, what's the cameraman needs to fix up there? I thought the ball went off. But the counter-attack slows down. Norwich get back into shape really quickly. Rashford. Just past the post.
I need to pause mine here, Levin. I'm ahead of you now for some reason.
You're ahead of me?
Yeah. I'm on 61-10.
Sancho slots the ball into Rashford on the edge of the box. Rashford takes a shot with a couple of defenders on him, but it's just wide.
Kev,
Cool would have covered it though.
ahead.
How many?
23.
61-26 I'm on there. Do you want me to pause it now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Pause now.
It's mad how the camera comes back from like the replay of Rashford's shot, and like we're just instantly just under attack from Norwich. It's crazy.
Constant.
Yeah. It's actually like it's a back and forth game. Like the
Kev, you can restart now.
61, 35, 36, 37. I just don't want Levin spoiling the excitement of when United score 4 goals, you see, and he'll know before me.
yeah, but that's what I'm scared of as well. I'm scared you'll know before me as well.
Yeah.
Like, that's the problem.
Oh,
Rashford played in
Rashford,
here.
final thought process. Give it to Ronaldo.
Chops inside.
This is every single time, man.
Why did
Fred?
Ronaldo shoot?
He was off balance and it was a bad angle.
It's like watching Goldbridge on FIFA.
Delort as well. A good tackle from Delort, but nobody there to recover.
Well, it's not because it's 0-0. Goldbridge would be getting beat
by Burnley.
Yeah.
Sean Dyche. Yeah.
Bloody Burnley.
And look how easy they just played through. Like, it's so easy for them to just play through us. It's crazy.
That's football. More corners in this game than Tesco's yogurt section.
Ronaldo always off balance. It's one of them things where it's like you gotta understand your teammates. There has to be an understanding of your teammates. You gotta know where to put the ball for your, you know what I mean? Like understanding your teammates' pockets, you know what I mean? And again, there's another example where that understanding is just not there in it between the two.
Oh, Bruno, man.
Oh, what is that pass, man? Bloody hell.
I understand that he's trying to play positive passes, but this has been going on for nearly 64 minutes, man. Every single time. Well, mine 1 or 2 being misplaced, but he's just setting the tone for the lot of them. We need somebody to step up here and say, right.
Do you want Goldbridge's feedback on the game so far? I've just had it in my chat. No. I got it in a private chat. He sent me a message. Okay. Shit game.
Yeah.
Which pretty much I think everyone knows.
Beautifully put, yeah. Straight to the point.
Big up Goldbridge.
So I'm really surprised. Oh, I was going to say he's not made a sub, and now it's Mason Greenwood time.
Greenwood coming on. Who's it going to be for the last time? We thought Greenwood was going to come on for Rashford, but he came on for Sancho. So who will it be this time?
It's got to be Rashford, I would have thought. But
if it's not Rashford, I think people will lose it.
Yeah,
more than they've already lost it.
I'm not saying he's been brilliant, but he's looked a bit more livelier than Rashford. Rashford is not at the races. I've got to say, I would have liked to have seen a double substitution. I'm really.
I've just had a private message from Jay. Bruno has been as useful as and I can't repeat that, Jay. So thanks for your message, but I'm sure he'll probably say it on the forum later, and then I'll tell him not to. So
yeah. I don't know, man. This team needs serious deliverance. Serious deliverance.
It's here every single time. Are we ready for the breakdown of play? McTominay keeping it simple. Sancho looking to make things happen. Look at the amount of bodies that Norwich have got back.
The Red Devil said, with this performance from Bruno, I hope Ricky is okay. Yeah,
Ricky will be raging.
he won't be happy.
Rashford, Bruno.
If any of you guys are going to church tomorrow, be sure to keep the team in your prayers, because yeah, it's just the final ball, that final bit of quality. It's not been there, and I feel like we go into every game. We go into every game talking about how, hey, look, we should have the better quality, right? But
what are you doing?
Fuck's sake.
Sancho,
Like going back to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer territory, man.
Sancho don't look happy either.
Seriously.
You don't look happy. Look,
I wouldn't be.
you don't look happy at all. He looks pissed, and I get it. He looks very, very pissed off, and I 100% get it.
You would be, wouldn't you? Exactly. I would be.
I can't believe that, man.
Unless Rashford proves me wrong now and stays on this pitch and scores, that is
I cannot believe that.
an amazing decision. That
I
can't understand that.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. We all just agreed, didn't we, more or less? It's got to be Rashford for Greenwood, straight swap. But
actually, I don't know. I don't have anything. I don't have anything to say, really. All I can hope is that what happened.
it's a new manager, yeah, exactly. Again. It's not the old regime. There's a great ball for it, Ronaldo.
It's a brilliant pass.
Oh,
Was that McTominay? That was a brilliant pass. I think it was, yeah.
That's what we need more of. Forward passes. Here we go. We're getting opened up. Here we go. Maguire's lost. Oh, he's over at the pass there, which is...
We are very fortunate, man.
Yeah, this is...
We are very fortunate
football.
We're not playing against a better team. A side with a bit more quality... Joke thing. Absolute joke.
This isn't even competing, this.
I don't know. Look, Norwich have been good, but we're making them look like a much better side than they are.
Yeah.
They are bottom of the table, ultimately. They are relegation fodder, ultimately. And we're making them look really, really good.
They're a yo-yo club.
Cantwell's coming on now.
"70 minutes in. Well, we had a couple of shots on target. One was a free kick that was deflected. Ronaldo, or the Dallo one as well, straight into Tim Krul. It's just...
It's mad.
If we do get a winner here, it's going to be more relief more than anything. This has certainly not been the dominant performance that a lot of United fans would have been sort of expecting coming into this. And rightly so. We come into it with high hopes, didn't we?
Is Lindelof okay? I think Lindelof's having a problem. He sort of touched his chest.
It's like he's either
winded or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like he's saying he's struggling to breathe, or
breathe,
he's kind of like he's been hit in the midriff or something.
Unless it's a cracked rib or something.
Yeah. I hope he's okay, but... Oh, guys. Sorry, I know I've missed some super chats, guys. I apologize for that. Be sure to DM me your grievances. Are we allowed to say Ronaldo has not been good? No, nobody's been good for me personally.
Nobody. Not one of them players can walk. If the match ended now, can walk off that pitch with a head held high. Like, I give everything. Not a chance. He doesn't look happy, does he, Lindelof?
McTominay has probably been our best player. Shows you the level. I don't even know, man. I feel like we're probably walking away from this game saying what we've said a lot of games this season, where we're probably just saying David De Gea has been the best player. He's made a couple saves. If he didn't make a couple saves, we probably would be down. If Norwich were a bit better quality-wise, we probably would be down. But
I almost feel like we've cursed this watch along.
No, we did.
We have. We've cursed it. We showed total disrespect to Norwich at the start. The bottom of the league for a reason.
I told you, famous last words. Famous last words. I think other than De Gea, I don't think anybody's been particularly good.
Oh, that was phenomenal control from Rashford.
That was. How can he just turn that on all this and then corner? We'll take that. We will take that.
Look, still time to win this game. Still time to win this game.
Time.
We're not going to forget the performance, but if we can get the result, then you know that's the most important thing at this stage now. Why are you warming up?
Lindelof is off.
Yeah, they got to be careful with stuff like this now. You know, got to be careful.
Linda off.
Hopefully, it's nothing too serious though for the Iceman.
Is Eric coming on?
Sancho been the only decent one. I think there's been a couple players who you could maybe say, yeah, they've been decent. Tellers has been all right. McTominay,
Your head on it.
Sancho, sure, but
total waste again. There we go. Win these second balls every time. Get your head up, McTominay. Oh, yeah.
Yo.
Penalty.
Pen.
Penalty.
I need to see the replay on that. Pen. Yes.
He's give it.
Ha.
Ronaldo. It was
Manchester
pulled.
United. I'll take it. I'll take it. Yeah, that's a pen. That stone wall pen. I'll take it. Guys, what was I saying? I was saying we ain't been winning enough pens recently. I was saying we ain't been winning enough pens recently. I'll take it. I don't care. I'm shameless. I'll take it. Manchester United, cool. Penaldo, I will take it. I will happily
We were
take
saying
it.
before the game, Levin. We don't get many penalties now. Martial's not in.
I will happily take it.
Has he gone to VAR?
Oh, don't. Do you know what? Look, we're going to get this ruled out.
Okay.
No. Don't go to VAR. No. Surely not.
No,
Please.
He's stepping up, so it's fine.
Cool.
Come on.
They smash and grab this.
Come on.
Krul's pretty good at saving penalties.
He is.
He comes off his line though. He's a cheat. I've seen him come off his line a couple
There
of
he
times.
is. He's doing it now.
Yeah, encroachment.
Psychological games have started.
He encroaches quite a bit, so you watch his feet. Yeah, I've seen him.
I'll only be watching that if he misses this.
Ronaldo won't miss. He don't miss.
So he's doing some messing about with.
Come on!
Have a bit of that.
Gets in.
Yes.
Gets in. It's been poor. It's been a poor performance, but we'll take those. Penaldo, Manchester United, rival fans. I don't
Smash
care.
and grab.
I will take it. I will take it. I will take it. I will happily take it.
Someone needs to say Sue. It's not right if no one says Sue.
Ooh, have a bit of that, Delia Smith. Where are you?
I will happily say that, guys. I do not care.
This will be smash and grab. You will quite happily write all this off today just with 3 points, even if it stayed 1-0 like that. And I am not lowering my standards or anything, but that is an absolute get out of free jail card there. If this was a game of Monopoly, that is something out of absolutely nothing. Let's not beat around the bush, man. We have been terrible.
Look, when the performance has been as bad as it's been, at the end of the day, if we can get the result, sometimes you got to take those. You know what I mean? You got to take those. You got to take those. So I'm not complaining at that whatsoever.
I would like to think that even, I know there's still 15 minutes left, plenty could happen, but if United did get the 3 points today, you know, it wouldn't be Rangnick going, patting him on the back and saying, well done. I would like more of a thingy reaction to that, really, and say, not good enough, even if he comes out, you know, after it. But again, I'm not cursing it, man. there's still time in this game for Norwich. Have asked a lot of questions of Manchester United here, and
Eric Bailly on the pitch as well now. Lindelof had to come off.
This makes me happy.
Let's hold
do
on
you know
to this
what
now.
makes me happy, Levin?
What?
That you've not even thought that you're going to have to sing "All I Want for Christmas" by Mariah Carey if United win. Had you forgotten about that?
I completely forgot about that. I completely forgot about that. Look, I will say this though: the game state now does not suit us because with Norwich being down, they will feel like they can. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness, De Gea!
What a save!
Oh my goodness, De Gea!
Saves.
What was I saying earlier? We're gonna walk away from this game going, De Gea's probably saved us here.
Again, how many times has this man done this? And yet people still think that Dean Henderson should be United's number one. Behave. Look at that. And that is clever by De Gea. Brilliant. It looks a bit theatrical, but he's actually... he knows that Norwich player is ghosting in. So he actually managed to scoop the ball out of the way, the danger area there. That was a brilliant, brilliant save from De Gea.
That's brilliant. Look,
go on Twitter and look at Goldbridge's Twitter. He's just said Sue with a picture with a pint looking completely half cut. So
no way.
We need to get him on the fan forum later on and guess the parents.
Hey, look, what I was going to say before De Gea's amazing save, yeah.
Brilliant save,
the game state does not suit us now because Norwich will feel they can win this game and now they're going to be much more aggressive. And we saw what happened when they were aggressive in that first half. It was not good whatsoever. So
this could play into our hands, really, Levin, if we play this right. Because like you say, Norwich are going to chase this game now. They need a goal. And it could suit the old regime style of play, which was counter-attacking football. It's just whether we can pick the right pass off. Norwich are going to start now definitely committing men forward, more men. They're going to have to go for it. What's that, 12 minutes of normal time left? So this could play into Manchester United's hands on the break. The likes of Greenwood, Rashford, Ronaldo, the pace. It's just taking the right, making that the final decision of the final ball in the final third now. Exactly like that. Bruno Fernandes again gives the ball away and what instantly on the back foot again. Here we go.
No, Sergeant. Oh no.
Bailly. Oh no, Bailly.
Oh.
Great challenge. Well done, Harry, lad.
Good job, Maguire.
That was a vital challenge to make there at that stage. Football, eh? Bloody hell. As Sir Alex Ferguson once said.
Bloody hell, yeah.
Oh,
we got some super chats in here. Sean says, what happens when you play a country song in reverse? You get your truck back, your dog back, and the Sue comes back. That was the most tense 30 seconds of my life as I sat oblivious looking at your faces on my phone as I eat a burger solo in a restaurant. Hope the burger's nice. Damn it, says Lev, all I want for Christmas is Sue.
Oh, love it.
This is one of those 1-0 job done victories we used to grab under Sir Alex, says Abhishek. Look, I will happily take the 1-0 and just run away with it.
And
I will not complain.
The funny thing is, before the match, I mean, I said United would win 4-0. Before it, you wouldn't have predicted 1-0 or even said you would have been happy with 1-0. But on reflection of the game and the way that Manchester, this will be just one of them games that you write off and you go, do you know what? We've got the job done. We've done it. It's all about the 3 points. But I did touch on it before it, and I was saying I want to see more of the performance and the result as a pair. Oh, God. This is...
It's so astounding to me how easy it is for them to play for us.
Look at the space in the midfield now. How many yellow shirts are there? I honestly can't work out the formation or...
They're just
we don't look compact or comfortable.
We're not. It's not aggressive. Look, we're literally ball
watching. Walking. And this is the stage of when these United players have actually tired. But I don't understand why, because they've done absolutely all today, man.
We're not aggressive whatsoever. Look how easy it is for them. They're passing around like it's a training session. Look at that ball. Oh my goodness. Don't give up a pen. Nothing easy.
Oh God, that was a stroke of luck. That touch hadn't have happened.
Yeah, we are very lucky.
Here we go on the break. Again.
Nick P says, Rangnick and Vin Diesel on the touchline seem to be looking at McKenna a lot for advice. Time for another sub. Ruben saying, I'm not quick to jump on players for bad performances, but Rashford has been consistently poor since returning from injury. I don't think many people disagree with you there, bro. But RPG Gamer.
Rashford should not have gone to the Euros. He should have had that operation before the Euros. It's absolutely pointless him going to the Euros for me.
Yeah. Don't know. The RPG Gamer says, don't know what happened since the Palace game. Looks like we're back. Oh, dear. What's happening here? What's happening here? Oh, my God. I thought that went in.
Gone wide,
oh, my God. Not Billy Gilmore. Yeah, it went wide. It went wide. Not nearly enough movement in and out of possession. You're right, bro. Not really doing anything right. Counter-attack or passages, but nothing. In possession, out of possession, in attacking transition, in defensive transition, we've just been put... Whoa.
Eric Bailly with the block.
Wait. Don't tell me that's a handball or nothing. Okay, no, good.
Oh. Eric Bailly, hands behind him. Fantastic block, that. Corner cleared. No, back in.
What is going on?
This is nervy stuff.
SK, member for 23 months. I've just got back in expecting 3-0. What happened, boys? Should I rewatch or will I get depressed? You will get depressed, but still rewatch anyway. Writings on the wall for Donny. He will have to move with World Cup coming up so long. Yeah, he needs playing time and he deserves playing time, but players look like they've played 4 games this week.
And this is kind of one of them games. Even if we got a second day, I still don't think I'd be comfortable or breathe easy. It's just we're just inviting them on.
Just bad sloppy
passes. It's horrible to watch.
No sense of intensity or aggression out of possession. No sense of urgency in possession. It's really sad.
No control over this game one bit. And anybody that's just joined and seen, oh, United are winning 1-0, they must be playing well. Do not let that. They certainly have not played well.
Someone in chat said leave Rashford and Norwich.
It's really interesting to see if Rangnick says it's a good performance after the game, because
he won't say he won't.
He can't pay.
If Ollie, if United won 1-0, Ollie would turn around and go, we got 3 points. That's the most important thing. We controlled the game. So
that's the difference with Rangnick.
I think Rangnick will acknowledge the fact that look, 3 points is important because it is at the end of the day. But I don't expect him to say that performance wasn't good. I'd be so shocked if he even insinuated that.
You'd be borderline delusional if any United fan or anybody could actually tell me that was or if it finished 1-0 now, that United fully deserved it and they were in control, and that it is not the case. There's more about Rangnick. I get that with Solskjaer, that he probably would have said, great result that one, Norwich, tough place to go, fighting for their lives and that, but no, not under this regime, surely. If you want to get more out of these players, we knew that anyway. They need a massive, massive boot up the arse, man, a lot of them. It's these patterns of play now that we can exploit if we use it right.
Transition. This.
Oh,
nice, Rashford. Nice.
Oh!
Ronaldo!
How's he missed that? I can't believe it, man.
Oh, no. That
How has he missed that?
That could have sealed the deal. Rashford did well there, surprisingly.
It's behind
that 6 yards out.
It's the exact same thing I said earlier, Kev. It's not in his pocket. It's an uncomfortable finish for him. It's behind him.
He's almost tried chipping it there.
Yeah.
He used a pitching wedge. He should have used a 3-wood.
That's the one. And that would have been game over, you would have thought, with 4 minutes left. Oh. We have to go through the agony of another 4 minutes of this, because I am not comfortable one bit. I wouldn't mind if we were defensively solid and, yeah, you know, you can try all day. You are not going to score because...
Kev, I hate to break it to you, but there's also injury time.
Oh, we don't need that Fergie time anymore. He's gone. That's...
Levin, surely Maguire has got to take the blame as captain. I definitely think we're going to be asking questions all around, because I think ultimately, right, a manager sets up a team, the players go out there on the pitch, and there's so many times in this game where I'm looking at the players and I'm going, you got to work harder, you got to try harder here, and you expect your captain to be able to push the players on the pitch, and I just don't think that's what Maguire's been able to do at any point in this game. But
go on, Fred.
Yeah, there's going to be lots of questions asked.
Bruno
Just again,
with a
good pass by Fred.
Yeah, really good. Forward pass. Positive pass. Bruno snapshot.
Passing through the lines, man.
Yeah.
Only 20 subscribers away from 237,000, guys. So get subscribing if you are new.
Another landmark for the United stand.
It's going to be huge. Bruno's off for Donny. Understandable. It's not been his best game. He's been pretty poor, like many others on the pitch. Donny van de Beek coming on.
I think Bruno's wired up differently. He'll look at that. That's not frustration at being brought off. The way that Bruno Fernandes is wired up, that'll be more disappointing with himself. He knows he's had an absolute stinker of a game there.
Yeah.
But again, now it becomes all about the 3 points. This is a massive 3 points if we can get over the line here. And I never thought I'd say that against Norwich. I obviously did not say it before the game, but if we can get over the line here, we can breathe a huge sigh of relief and go, yeah, job done. But there has been nothing like the Crystal Palace performance, any kind of style of pressing, or I've seen this is a bit like an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer under the older regime, really, style of football.
Well, I saw someone in chat there say, I refuse to believe Rangnick is in control. And I don't think that's the point that should be made here. I think it's clear, right? If we're looking at it from both sides, I think it's clear that, that there isn't much understanding from the players on what to do against a more aggressive block. Flipping now, Ronaldo, whenever he jumps that high and lands like that, it always scares him, and I hope he's all right.
I was going to say, the way he's landed on his back there, that looked like a sore one, man.
He jumped so high. Look, it's clear the players didn't know what to do against a more aggressive block with what Norwich had, right? Against Crystal Palace, they were much more passive and it was easier for to play through. So it's clear the players didn't have an understanding there. And of course, you look at it, bloody hell, the replay.
That looks so
It's clear that there's more, more time is needed. Rangnick needs more time to work on these things. But at the same time, you look at the other side, when it comes to the players, they've just not been good enough, lethargic, sloppy. It's really been poor. So lots of questions to be asked.
It's a massive wake-up call for him, this one.
Is this fatigue?
We know this job is not easy. Ronaldo again.
Fatigue must play into it, but at the same time, it's just, I don't know. I guess that's it. It must be some fatigue must play a part in it, yeah. But
5 minutes of added time. Another 5 minutes of... Oh, God.
I told you, Kev.
You did.
I warned you.
I didn't think it'd be 5 minutes. Oh, no. What a stupid foul to give away. That is just inviting pressure now. Oh, he didn't even touch him, the fraud.
oh,
He's done him big time there.
Cantwell,
You not
man.
use VAR for that, no? If he score from this now, Donny van der Beek went to stick his foot in and he didn't even touch him and he's dropped like a sack of shit.
No. Oh, De Gea!
Dave saves.
Oh my goodness.
Unbelievable.
De Gea with a brilliant save at the back post to keep us in this game. A decent free kick from Norwich.
Anyway.
Yeah, it would have been offside, I believe.
You wouldn't have known that. That is a fantastic save.
Yeah.
Again, I reiterate my thing about people saying Dean Anderson is better than De Gea. That is, where would we be without this man? He has been absolutely sensational.
Sky Sports man of the match as well. And,
there you go, Sky Sports. Yeah.
Rightfully so. He's kept us in this game.
Isn't that... I don't want to take anything away from De Gea, but it's just a Manchester United, you know, the year that Sir Alex Ferguson retired, I think David De Gea got United's Player of the Year 3 years on the run. You know, it was pretty much unheard of that because we used to attacking football, the likes of Eric Cantona, Roy Keane, all these, you know, players, Ronaldo getting Player of the Season. And we're back to this now. You know, if we win and get out of jail here and win 1-0 against Norwich, bottom of the table, Norwich, and our keeper has got man of the match. You know, that tells everything about this story, the story of this game for me. De Gea man of the match suggests that he's made brilliant saves to keep United in the game. And we've got a penalty out of really nothing. It's a stonewall penalty, but it's... What plus points can you take from this? Well, it's 3 points, isn't it? That'll be the plus points. Here we go. This is where we can hit them now. Can Rashford make a right decision?
That pass slows it
for the
down
player
a bit
to get up here. And then he's give him a bit too much to do there.
Again,
we've got 2 minutes left here. Keep the ball. That's it. Keep. Penalty!
Come on.
That's a penalty. Free kick.
It's outside the box.
Close, that, man.
It was just outside the box. It was just outside the box.
I've got the red tinted specs on again, Levin. You know what?
Yeah.
Go on, jump into the box and then.
Yeah, just outside the box.
I'll give you that one.
Very careless by that defender. Very careless.
Frustration, that, isn't it?
I don't even want to sing now. I don't want to sing, Kev. I don't want to sing. I'm not. You know what I mean?
Getting out of this one, mate. Don't be starting this now.
No,
You're not panicking because there's nearly a minute left, and you've realised
it's not a singing. It's not a singing mood now, guys. Man, I don't know if I can sing, guys. I don't know if I can sing. And then, like you say, all you got to do is change the words to "All I Want for Christmas is Sue." Who's having this? Rashford. Yeah, Rashford looks like he's lining up to take it.
The least he can do now is bang this in the top corner.
Come on, Doctor. What can you do? Sir Dr. Marcus, MBE.
Yeah. Come on, sunshine. Bam, bam, bam.
Go on. No.
Straight into the wall.
Straight into
anything less. Yeah. Pressure's still on.
Greenwood 1-on-1.
Go on.
As well there to beat his man.
Yeah. Offside. What's that?
Ref calls it a foul here. Oh, goodness.
Fan forum coming straight up after this. So
Fan forum straight up. Well, I think you know what that means, guys. Couple seconds left. It looks like it's done.
95th minute now. That should be enough to see United over the line in a game that has been... I don't even know how to summarise it, to be honest. We've got out of jail. We have gotten out of jail.
We've gotten away with one there. We've really gotten away with one there. The performance wasn't good enough. Full time now for the people wondering. 1-0 to Manchester United. Definitely not a good enough performance. Definitely a performance, you know, that was similar to what we saw in the... That
tells you everything there, Levin. You've got Rangnick, who to me does not look happy, which is fair enough. We've won a game that we did not deserve to win. And then McKenna was just before him then clapping, you know, like the team coming out. And that to me, is a major, major issue at United. That's why somebody like that should not be at Manchester United. That is just playing off, vibes, playing off whatever you want to say. McKenna there clapping United players. What are you clapping them for? I wouldn't even clap him for that. I'm happy that we won, but I'm sorry, but I expected a lot more from that game as a contest. Norwich can quite rightly feel very, very aggrieved by that, because that look at the Norwich players. You can tell they're absolutely kind of shell shocked. That was smash and grab at its best, big time. But don't get me wrong, I'm happy with it. But the performance by a lot of individuals there has to be brought well into question, man. Well into question.
Yeah. David De Gea, many people's man of the match, and he received some hugs and claps from his teammates. The players go to clap the away fans, as they always do.
Rightly so, yeah.
Yeah. To the 15,000 people in here, we appreciate you guys all for hanging out. Be sure to like the video if you haven't already. Not a bad result. The result we wanted, but ultimately not in the way we wanted. There'll be plenty of talk, of course, the fan forum coming up right after this as well. Look, there's going to be plenty said about this one, Kevin. You've already alluded to it here. Look, I'll be honest. I'm happy we got to win, like you. I'm happy we got to win, but I am very frustrated by some of the things I saw on the pitch there. Yeah.
Individual performances. I think that I said earlier on in the game, in the first half, you can afford to carry one or two players in your team, but when you've got 7, 8, 9 players that are not on board with what's going on and what's being done, it makes it so much difficult. And the major thing there is we're watching it on Sky Sports. Sky Sports will give David De Gea man of the match. He was man of the match, and that tells the story, man. If you had not watched that game and you see that United have beat Norwich, bottom of the league, Norwich 1-0, and David De Gea is man of the match, he's man of the match for a reason. It tells the whole story of the game, and that tells you everything you need to know about this game. Everything.
Yeah. Look, we're getting a lot of people putting in their thoughts. Michelle, thanks for the super chat, said, did you see Fernandez's reaction to being taken off? Yeah, did you see Sancho's? Sancho looks really frustrated. Yeah. Coming off as well. I don't think any of the players will be too happy. I saw certain players going up and clapping and hugging De Gea. Understandably, he saved us from, losing that game. But yeah, that's one where there needs to be some frank words said in the changing room for sure. That is
the question, Levin. Where would we be without David De Gea? Honestly, this season he's been incredible, absolutely incredible. Some of the game, and that again today, he saved us. Dave saves. He's absolutely done it for us today. Yeah.
Abhishek saying Ronaldo needs to shut his Instagram down and start practicing again. Look, I know people. Look. What I'll say, I know people are looking for answers and whatnot, but there's certain things that just I don't think are that valuable in saying or that useful in saying. And I get a lot of people, I'm sure, in relation to Rashford, will be saying Rashford needs to stop all the stuff he's doing outside the pitch, blah blah. There will be a lot of that. I think we need to look at the things that can be solved on the football pitch first, and that's what I'll say about that. So,
and that's the thing with a result like that today. If you're in a title challenge, you look at a result like that today and you go, that's what good teams do. You have to win games like that sometimes, ugly, and you bring it on. I think it's the fact of where Manchester United are at the minute. We are kind of pissing about and trying to get into the top 4, which I expect much more from Manchester United. And that's why I'm prepared to let it off today. And I'll say we've got the 3 points. I'm happy with that. I'm just more worried about the performance and the performance level of so many individuals there today. Bruno Fernandes, well off the boil. You quite rightly said Sancho gets brought off, doesn't look happy. And I totally agree with him. Sancho should not have come off in that game. It should have been Rashford. But 3 points, I'd take it. I would have took it before the match, but probably the manner of the way that Manchester United went about it, that's the thing that's kind of, I'm not digging really.
Look, if you want to get your thoughts in, be sure to check out the website where you can put your player raters in. The link is in the description below on the United Sun website. Let us know how you feel. You get to rate every player 1 to 10. There will be match reactions on the channel as well. After Mark's match reaction will be coming up as well. And I believe Mark is a bit drunk, so that should be a fun one. And of course, we got a fan forum right after this. I appreciate you all. Be sure to check out Kev. Kev, where can the people find you?
At Kevin Ashford 7 on Twitter and Instagram. I'm not on Grindr anymore. You'll be glad to know.
Yeah.
And search Van Cam on YouTube as well, mate. And Levin, you are not getting away with this. We need one line of "All I want for Christmas is Sue." Come on, sunshine. Don't let me down. You give it the big one before, and you said you'd do it. So,
all I want for Christmas is Sue.
Is that it?
I'm not in a singing mood, Kev. I'm not in a singing mood. After a better performance, maybe I'll give it some.
No. You said if United win. You said nothing about performance. It was just if United win, you will sing that. You've let me down big time, I tell you.
Look, guys, you can catch me at Levin2K on anything, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram at Levin2K. I appreciate you very much. What do you mean 11 out? Hey, relax, man. I said 11 out. All right. I don't want a lot for Christmas. There is just one thing I need. Oh, I don't care about the presents underneath the Christmas tree. I just want you for my own, more than you could ever know. Make my wish come true. All I want for Christmas is sweet. All right,
That's what I'm talking about.
we're done. Thank you.
Fair play to you.
I'm here all night. I'm here all night. I'm here all
Loving
night.
it.
I'm here all night. All right, guys, it's been a pleasure as always. Hope you have a good night. Enjoy the content on the channel coming out. We'll see you guys all in a bit.